The Pelicans postgame report on the PRO Media Network for all things Pelicans.
Perfect. Fly Pelican, fly Pelican, fly Pelican. And I tell them that birds of a feather flock together. Fly down, I'm a Pelican forever. Pelican forever. Ain't gon' lie, I feel flyer than I ever been. We stay ballin', this New Orleans, I'm a Pelican. It's going down in the nest, wild, wild west. Come in town and you best show us some respect. 3-point threat, I better make it rain. If it's something, don't jump stupid like your ankle sprain. Always said, never hate the player, hate the game. Jumper where the dame late, punch a train. Post game, Big Q, talking about business. Bird gang, YouTube, they ain't flocking with us. Lock up the division mission, get into the finals. Finish competition, then it's going win the title. I know this flyer than you can get. Such a threat that the refs just might call a tag. You could double, you could press, but you can't check. Right, left, slide by you like a Eurostep. Fly Pelican, fly Pelican, fly Pelican. And I tell them that birds of a feather flock together. Fly down, I'm a Pelican forever. Pelican forever. And never, and never, and never, and never, and never say birds of a feather flock together. Yeah, fly die, I'm a Pelican forever. Pelican forever.
For all things Pelicans, you're now tuned into the Pelican post-game report. Shout out to the fam. Appreciate y'all for being in the live. Much love to the fam for showing up on day one. This is day 2, man. Much love to the fam, man. Hit the like button and the subscribe button. And in the chat, man, tell me how y'all feeling after you slept on it. Day 1 of the Pelicans draft. Let me know how you guys feel about it. I've seen some comments. Some of the family members are feeling pretty optimistic. Some are not. Some are in the middle. So big ups to you guys. Appreciate y'all for being in the stream. You got to excuse me. I am currently traveling, so y'all pardon the noise. And y'all let me know how I sound in the comment section, man, if we all ready. So big ups to the fam. Much love to everybody out there, man. DC will be popping in a little bit. Much love to you guys. Good to see you in the chat. Pelicans Nola, much love. Young City Ninth Ward. What's up? What's up, Daniel? Shout out to your fam. What's up, Steven? Shout out. He said, I love the aggression of Joe Dumars. Indeed. What's up, Jessica? Shout out to Jessica Thomas. How you doing, sir? Much love. He says, we took the risk. We making moves. You know, I got you on that. Better than nothing. That's right. Pelicans Nola says, Joe Dumars is doing his thing. Excellent draft, Q. What's up, Jaden? How you doing, sir? Appreciate y'all for being in the live, man. Couldn't be with y'all yesterday. You know, that's one of my favorite times of the season, of the off season of the Pelicans year, man. It's the draft shows. I always love the draft shows. It's the potential and the possibility of what could be in terms of the Pelicans. What could they be? What could they do? Now, I know, listen, I didn't quite give my take on it yet. I will give it as day 2 is kind of starting. We'll see what the Pelicans do in day 2. If they kind of move around in the second round, make some moves, or we'll see. Now, the DeJounte Murray thing, we'll talk about that in just a moment. But my thought process on it is the draft, man, listen. Jeremiah Fears, young guy, 18-year-old, very young point guard, huge upside on this kid, 0 to 60 style point guard, can finish physically at the rim. Watch some of his games, was really impressed about his offensive game plan, his acumen, offensively speaking. Definitely nothing knocking there. 6'3", somewhere along in the line. He's about 180-something odd pounds. He got to kind of gain some more muscle and get tougher. But the tough mentality is there. So we know that he's going to toughen up. We know that they're going to get him there eventually. And I just love his offensive game. The defensive side, we got to work on that. But I think his mindset, his aggression and attacking offensively is there. And can we get that to translate defensive-wise? You know, he's a guy that can push the pace. You ain't going to be able to stand in front of him. Now and I've told DC this, he's the anti-Kyra Lewis Jr. That's right, I said it. KLJ's the anti-version. This is what the Pelicans wanted Kyra Lewis to be, similar to this player. A guy that has impressive speed, a guy that nobody can stand in front of me, but the guy simply just didn't have that attack dog aggression mentality. So many good comps that I've heard about Jeremiah Fears. I had an opportunity to watch several of his games. And coming into the draft time, I kind of looked at the fact that Pelicans was an area of need. A lot of people said, damn, Q, the point guard for real? Yes. You look at the team, we know that DeJounte Murray, after that injury, is not going to be as spry as he is. And, that was an issue. We know Jose Alvarado is good in increment. And so far as him being a reserve player, we know that to be something that's pretty good. So in essence, I just think at the end of the day, we are a team that is headed in the proper direction. Now, with that being said, can he be a guy that can be placed in the starting lineup? We'll discuss that and more on this episode. Let's see here, DC done joined the conversation. DC, how you doing, sir?
I'm doing great, man. Trying to see who the hell we're going to pick. We already got too many players as it is. What are we going to turn this into?
DC sound like you wrestling with a good problem, brother. So, I mean, we got a lot. That's a good problem to have, my friend. But, yeah, it's to finish up, DC. I was kind of talking to the family members about some of my thoughts on the draft, bro. And we was talking about Mr. Fears, man, which is no fear in this kid's heart, man. And just love how he plays. Like I said, there's some stuff to kind of work on with his game, but definitely a guy that's going to have an impact in the eyes of Joe Dumars and Troy Weaver. And then, of course, Derek Queen, man. Derek Queen, 6'10", big man with a good touch around the rim. I've seen him shoot three-pointers. I've seen his mid-range game. I've seen him play defense. I've seen him block shots at the rim. He still needs to be kind of tuned up a bit, and because the defensive stuff I didn't see all the time, but when motivated, when he was there, I seen him handle business there. Love his aggression insofar as him his offensive game and meet people at the rim defensively. This is the thing with Derek Queen, man, that I thought the Pelicans, man, made a very interesting move, which really shocked a lot of people. I seen Nick Wright almost blow his damn nose off for complaining about the fact that the Pelicans made the trade.
Bro, I can't let you speedball past that, bro.
I know, brother.
It is impossible for Nick Wright to blow that nose off. I just want to say that. But, continue.
Him and Willie Green are in the same club, brother. They got special instruments to get boogers out of that. So anyway, listen, bro, we don't want you to go there. But all I'm saying, man, at the bottom line is that the part about the trade that the Pelicans used to move 10 spots from 23 to 13 to get Queen out of Maryland was very interesting, because when we heard Joe Dumars talk about both these players, and he mentioned the trade, and he talked about the fact that he believes both of these players are impact players this year. And that's what he was talking about doing. That's what he wanted to do. He was very big. That's why he said he pulled off the trade. Now, listen, I'm not a fan or a supporter of giving up that pick without protections. I am definitely, I was looking at that. But this is something that Dumars and Weaver believe, that this team, adding Queen and adding the likes of Fears to what the Pelicans have added. They added Jordan Poole in the trade. They added Sadiq Bey. We'll see what he looks like through the injury. And DC, you put all these players together, and plus whatever the Pelicans do in the rest of the offseason, and plus tonight and the guys that we already had there, Antonio and Hawkins and all these other guys. We'll see how they move around. But it's a good ass problem to have, to be honest with you. So indeed, Jessica mentioned it. Jaden talked about all the family members missing. They like the aggression and the pace that the Pelicans are moving with to improve this team. And this is something the Pelicans, they're trying to win right now. They're not trying to do no BS like Washington or any of the other team. Pelicans know that ain't no more all this other stuff about, hey, man, we building for the future. We're accumulating 1,000 first-round draft picks like the previous idiot did. We're not doing that. You got to win right now. We got guys in the thick of their contracts. We got to produce. We got to win. And this is the move that Joe Dumars is doing. So go ahead, DC. You go ahead and chime in as well.
Oh, yeah, man. I mean, it's an all-in move, definitely. But I think more important than anything, what the people who don't like it are losing track of is I'm okay with them taking a swing. I'm even okay. I would like the protection on that, but I'm okay with the non-protection. When you have a guy or a set of guys that you locked in on and you got a plan for them and you went and got your guys. If it's just something where, okay, they just thought this was talent and they went, got them because it's a good bargain or whatever, that'd be different, man. But the way they're talking, it's kind of like these were the 1 and 2 guys on their board, or, maybe not 1 and 2 because we got Cooper Flagg and Dylan Harper, and I don't know if they had Ace Bailey maybe above them. But let's say they're 4 and 5 on their board, right? And you got a chance to walk away with 2 guys, and you only anticipated on getting 1, and you kind of see them as a big deal. So I think it's leaps and bounds away from what we're used to. You know what I'm saying? What we've seen in the past, and I'm all for it. I think we couldn't have had a better draft, in my opinion.
Yeah, man. I was sitting there watching the draft. I was traveling. I couldn't be on screen with you guys. You guys did a wonderful job yesterday. I couldn't be out there with you. My internet wasn't all that. It seemed to be better. Let me know if I'm fading, if my sound is wrong. But like I said, I'm still on the road traveling. But hey, man, what I seen, like what we see before, and think about it like this. Let me say this. Shout out to, I think it's the Bird Wrights. They wrote a wonderful article about the history of the Pelicans with 2 first-round draft picks. And the first one we had, Hilton Armstrong. Y'all remember that trash? No disrespect to Hilton Armstrong. I'm talking about in terms of the picks. Those guys totally was non-effective. They didn't have any impact on the season. The draft when we had Hilton Armstrong, when we took him, the big, then the draft when we had AD, who was really good, but Rivers, who we took over Murray, that was crazy. That was Dale Dempsey. That ended up crappy. So having a draft like Jeremiah, and I know it's still very young. It's only a day or 2 days, a day old actually, since we had these guys. We anointed them as Pelicans. But Queen and Fierce, these guys were guys that were listed inside consistently now as lottery guys. I mean, these guys were impact guys. If you watched them in college, man, I remember watching in the barbershop when I'm taking my children there. We go in there to get haircuts. I'm watching Derek Queens in the barbershop tell people and pumping his fist, shooting over people, blocking shots. I said, damn, when that guy makes it to the league, he's gonna be hell on wheels. Boy, little did I know that guy would be a New Orleans Pelican. That Fierce kid, I watched him play. He's so excitable, man. So, like I said, I like what the Pelicans doing. I can respect how they took that extra pick and moved 10 spots to get the guy that they wanted to get. So, listen, man, I ain't mad at that.
On a lighter note,
I didn't like the non-protections, DC, but
I don't think anybody likes the non-protections, and I'll comment on that in a second. But we got 2 picks that then already came in, man. We got the start of the second round, as you guys can see here. We got up on the board. The Timberwolves drafted Rashard Flemings for the Phoenix Suns. This is a pick that was traded to them. This guy he's pretty good, man. Some people, say he has the potential to be like Brandon Clark, from Memphis with a jump shot. Or I've heard Monty Bates and some other stuff from, as you can see, I was looking at data ball up here. Nice site, man, with some breakdowns. But also the Celtics draft Noah Pender out of Lemans Sarah Basket. I don't know what the hell this is. Well, Phil is from St. Joseph, and he's from Lamaze.
Well, we in trouble when DC producing is pronouncing people's last names. But carry on.
Man, it's the college. I ain't never heard of this shit. He must be. I think he's probably a French guy. Yeah, it's one of the French teams, man. I don't know no damn French.
I thought yesterday that one of the famous names that DC kept. What was the guy from Duke? You kept pronouncing his name.
Malawak, man. It's Malawak.
No, not Malawak. What's the dude?
Knipple.
Okay. All right. Okay, go ahead, DC. Okay. So go ahead. Finish up about the second round.
Why don't you be trying to con yourself out of the nipples, man? It's Knipple.
All right, I'm not touching that. I ain't going nowhere near that. But go ahead. This
Boston Celtics, they did drafted this guy, Noah Pender, forward from Lamaze, French international team. I don't know a lot about him. 6'8" guy, though. He plays in the forward spot. Appears to be a 3-and-D guy. We ain't work going into this. Ain't our pick, but I just wanted to report, the two picks that actually came in from the second round. They got Bob Myers up here talking, man, in the second round. He dropping all type of information, I guess, on the panel. But the pick is in for the Charlotte Hornets, so we're going to see that up shortly. Charlotte has two picks, as you guys can see. And then, we have Philly, Brooklyn, Detroit, and Washington coming after Toronto and San Antonio. So, not long, family. We'll see who else is a part of the Pelicans family and what bold move they decide to make next. I wonder if it would be too much for them to go. You think they would take another big? I can't think of anything else for us to get another power forward. Like I don't know what else they would do.
I'm thinking another 4.
It's kind of crazy to have 3 young centers, though, bro. We still would have to get a vet in there somewhere. Technically 4, because Carlo's kind of a center too. But it just shows we probably, if they do that, then we're gonna play a lot of these double big lineups, man, with our bench, which I think is a good thing, especially in the West, man. The Western got a lot bigger, so. You looking at the Phoenix Suns, who went and got Mark Williams and Malawak, man, they're huge. You know what I'm saying? So,
I'm not really impressed with Phoenix.
I'm not impressed with them either, but I'm just saying the ideology of the teams in the West, man. A lot of teams are getting bigger. I think a lot of that.
The guy, don't they?
Well, everybody's anticipating on Wemby. You know what I'm saying? The fallout of that and dealing with Wemby. So you're seeing a lot of teams. It would probably benefit you to go to a double big lineup if he didn't grew 2 more inches. Q. Now they're saying he's 7'6". He down there at the Buddhist monk temple, man. I don't know what the hell going on with him. If he about to go to another level, he just gonna be, kind of be what he was last year, which is still pretty damn good. But he is over there at San Antonio. They do pretty well with player development. You got Pop up in the front office, so you still have him being able to sprinkle some magic on stuff. And you got the champs in OKC Thunder, in the West, man, and they're not a small team either. So
right.
You gotta be versatile, man. If you're looking at the 2 teams that won the championship, the blueprint as of now, man, is you gotta have as many forwards, bigs as possible. You gotta be a well-rounded team. You don't have to be, everybody ain't gotta be 7 feet tall, and but you can't be a team that don't have no 7-footers. And as of now, technically, we do, with shoes on. Our guys are 7 feet, but we don't have nobody who's a legit 7-footer. So whether we get a vet or whether we that's where we pull off in the draft. But what is this damn show?
Yeah, I would think about maybe being a 4 or 5, but I wouldn't be surprised if it was another guard or some sort of developmental prospect there. But I can't disagree.
You got Ryan Nembhard, who's in the second round queue. I think that's the other brother, Nembhard's brother or cousin, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
They
Yeah, I
compare him
got you.
to Tyrus Jones, and T.J. McConnell is his ceiling, which I don't know what that would do for her.
Right. So I mean, yeah, it could. We will see exactly what it is momentarily, man. But very
I like
interesting spot, man. I like what they're doing.
I like Maxi Renault, man. I don't know if he makes it the next 8 picks, but if he's there, I think we take him at 40 for sure, man. If they pass him up, he's the kid out of Stanford. You sound like you're not familiar with him.
No, I'm not familiar with him, bro. Give me the breakdown on what is he?
Um, I mean, Kelly Olynyk, would be his ceiling. I've heard some people compare him to Boris Diaw, people like that. His floor is Oliver Saul. I don't know who that is. Just reading from this comp I got right here. I look at him. I see, a more athletic kind of Paul Gasol, which he's that's a little bit of a throwback. His game is a little different, man. He's 7 footer, bro, and he moves pretty well for 7 feet. He's athletic for a 7 footer, if that makes any sense. It's almost like another Derek Queen type player a little bit. His passing chops ain't nowhere near there. And I don't think his basketball IQ is as high as Derek Queen, but he definitely looks like a pretty solid player, man. And he can shoot that thing, bro. He got a slow ass shot, but he can shoot it from the three and everything. And he's gonna give you some defense. You know what I'm saying?
Well, any big that we can get that has some of
he's very
game, so it definitely help.
Right,
He's a big that can knock down the three.
On defense, he gonna be in the right spots. He's not gonna blow nobody away with athleticism, but you're not gonna just violate him defensively, man. And he's a true 7 footer. He's 22 years old, so he's a little on the older side. I don't know his weight. I think he's somewhere around 250 pounds, 260 pounds, something like that. He ain't no little dude, man. But he move. He averaged 20 points a game, 10 rebounds, and 1.7 assists for Stanford. And he did that. I think he came from overseas, and the guy was a walk-on for Stanford. And he went from being a walk-on to them running their offense through him, bro. So you see a 7 footer, getting steals out on the break and stuff. So, some of the stuff I see with Derek Quinn, like I see a little bit of that with him, man. It's like a slower version, but it's still impressive nonetheless, man. Dude got a highlight with him doing a windmill cue off of steal. Damn 7 footer.
That's pretty good, man. That's Carlo Makovic athletic vibes going on there.
I think Carlo more athletic than him. But to me, he's more intelligent than Carlo.
Well, if
he would be a better player.
They should be able to find somebody good at this pick, man. This is high in the second round.
Good pick in the second round, man.
Excellent pick in the second round. Excellent. All right, shout out to the fam, man. Y'all throw it in the chat. Do you agree with DC, man? What do you guys think the Pelicans need at that 40th selection, man? What do y'all guys think it should be? Should it be 4 or 5 or 1? What do you guys think? Put it in the chat. Also, let us know a name. Let us know maybe one we're missing out on that could really be a beneficial party for the Pelicans. Let us know. Put it in the chat. Shout out to Jessica. Shout out to TS. Brother Don. KB Free. How you doing, sir? Much love. Kai the Great. What's up, Kai? Shout out to you. What's up, Brother Rob? Shout out to Rob Jabari. How you doing, sir? What's up, Stacy? Big ups to you, fam. Appreciate y'all spending some time with us on PPR. What's up, Michael? Shout out to you as well. Mall's in this thing. Appreciate you, sir. Much love to everybody. Y'all do me a service. Hit that like button, man. Hit the like button and the bell, man. And the share button, man. Let them know PPR is in the building. Who that daddy? Shout out to you, fam. Appreciate you. YBNG Don, you dig. Shout out to you, brother. Good to see you as well. And much love to all of the flock. All right, Chance Lanier is the best in the SEC. All right,
we got two picks that came through. I don't know why it moved so slow, man. I miss Zion James. He went to Charlotte, man. Okay. They stock up on another guard. They drafted Kniffel, and now they get another guard. And then they also drafted Ryan Caliburner. Caliburner? I don't know. Another center from Creighton.
Full screen.
I got it up here. No,
full screen. Full screen. It's the The box, the full box. Sharing. The full screen box.
What you mean?
The full screen box. There's a box at the bottom of the screen that you can make
Oh, okay. My bad. I didn't know. There you go.
There you go.
I'm sorry. Yeah, so we got Ryan up here, a 4-star recruit, man, a center. You know, so he's a 4-time Big East Defender of the Year. It's okay. So Charlotte is basically trying to restock their center position after they traded Mike Williams. And I wonder who. I'm not gonna go look at their roster, man. They were such in a hurry to get rid of Mike Williams. Who the hell was supposed to be taking over that spot? It's almost as if they know they have another center. They gotta know they have another center in house, man. Because they were dead set on getting rid of him. I know they kind of pissed the Lakers trade didn't go through. I think it would be a lot better to have Dalton Connect and whatever the hell they got from Phoenix, because I don't even know what they got. I know they ain't getting no draft picks.
Well, it's Booker, and of course they had Green. With the Phoenix thing, they had Green out there along with Dylan Brooks. Go along with Booker.
Okay, Stacey saying Charlotte killed it.
Remember, they was trying to get rid of Williams already last year. I mean, early in the year during the trade deadline. Did he fail a physical? That's why he had to go back. When he was supposed to go to LA.
Yeah, he failed the physical, man.
Wait till healthy, in fact, with the Phoenix.
Failed the physical. Let me look up my man. What you got here? YBG Don. He was Grant Nelson. Let me look up Grant Nelson, man.
From Alabama. I heard of Grant Nelson.
Oh, okay. Charlotte got they got Nurkic and Musala. So they got basically their 2 bigs. Let me check out Grant Nelson, man. YGB Don. Keep talking about him. Damn, bro. If I could find him on the draft, then he must be way down here. On these players out. Damn, Grant Nelson is ranked the 88th player. All right, let's check him out, though. Let's check out Grant Nelson. Got him here. They got him ranked 88 on the site. I'm checking out. Versatile 4'5" with fluid mobility, ball handling, and flashes, and open court scoring ability, who projects to be a toolsy play finisher, weak side rim protector if shot and strength improve. I ain't mad at you, BG Don, but I don't know, man. I want more of a little guy that they got a little traditional center to him. He could be a stretch, but I'm really looking for somebody who could be anchored in the defense. Well, let's say Messi gets hurt or something. We got another center that can kind of be a rim protector or at least a rim deterrent. Serviceable in that area. I ain't lie. I'm just reading the analysis on this guy. I ain't seen no tape on him. But I don't know from what I'm hearing. Then another 6'11" guy, which, still kind of 7 foot once he put shoes on. But they say swing skill, the shooting consistency. So I know you don't have a great 3-point shot. Obviously, got to have something wrong if he's still in the second round. Pick and pop value, functional strength, proven lower body core will help him hold his position and survive amongst the bigs. His ceiling, though, is Trey Lyles. Okay. Floor spacing big with ball skills and role adaptability. I think we could do a lot worse. So I wouldn't totally hate the pick. Let's see who we got here. Another pick that came through. Okay, the 76ers are on the clock, and they're making their selection right now. Let's see who they got. Johnny Broom.
There you go.
Okay, the 76ers got Johnny Broom. Broom.
So Broom off the board.
Broom is off the board, man. He done swept on up out of here.
What's up, DJ? Shout out to DJ, man. State of the Bells. What's up, DJ? Yeah, yeah. So
High IQ. High IQ interior big. He thrives as a finisher, short roll passer, glass cleaner, dominates second chance points. All right, he sound like something solid. Guess who they compare him to? Q. One of his comparisons. Daniel Tice.
oh,
Noah Vala and Nick Collison. That's his comparisons.
Nick Collison.
Yeah.
Oh, so you used to play with Thunder.
Yeah, a rotational big who contributes through position and passing, smart play. Okay. Let's see a little bit of insurance policy for Embiid. They definitely need a center. He's always getting hurt. Looking at his highlights they got up here on ESPN, he looked all right. I mean, pretty good pick. I think for the second round. Let's see what next up on the board. Come on, get to the Pels so we talk about us. But while we're waiting on that, I think a lot of people are blowing the whole pick thing out of proportion, and here's why. I haven't seen anything serious yet where Giannis is leaving the Bucks, right? So if Giannis is on the Bucks, man, I don't see a reality with them not making the playoffs. I mean, it pretty much have to be a catastrophic injury from him. And then the Pels, well, what they're doing in the roster that we have now, I don't see us not making the playoffs this year, man. I know it's tough. We can pull up the stats on the West. Everybody's gonna say, we the 11th team or the 10th team in the West, but we're not that far removed from, we kind of had a healthy squad, 49 wins. Not hanging my head on that because we didn't really do shit that season. But I'm just saying that to say if Zion is healthy, especially with this team, Zion can get hurt with this team we have now, and I still think we can make some noise to get there. Once we get there, we won't be worth anything. But we have so much depth. I don't think the Pels pick is going to be high, or the Bucks pick is going to be high. And if I'm not mistaken, is this another generational draft coming up that I'm missing? So
aren't they all generational drafts?
I don't see anything to indicate that, man. I know they probably got a couple of people at the top of the draft as usual that are can't miss prospects, but if you can get what you consider a can't miss prospect now, as opposed to next year, I just look at it like, okay, instead of us drafting Derek Queen this year, we drafted Derek Queen next year, and whatever the pick position is. Obviously, if it's a top 5 pick, then you're like, oh yeah, that was horrible. We should have kept the pick, whatever. But if it's anything, outside of the top 10, like, who really cares? And then we're still gonna have a pick next year because we have the Bucks pick and we have the Pelicans pick. Now,
sure.
Atlanta is going to get the most favorable pick out of the two. But
that's the thing I agree with too. It matters if the Pelicans stink. That's when it matters, and that's when people will bring up that it's unprotected pick. If the Pelicans stink and they fall down again, have another miserable season, that's when a lot of this is going to come to light. But I don't think if it translates into success, the Pelicans are winning. I think people they will definitely forget about that. So it impacts if the Pelicans stink. So the aggression level of Joe Dumars and Weaver coming into the season, man, that's going to tell a lot because, like we've said before here all the time, the Pelicans have had the talent, but they have not had an identity. The team doesn't have an identity that it consistently plays to. And that falls on the head coach. The head coach is tasked with establishing an identity in which the team has to play behind. It becomes who they are. It's their banner. And the Pelicans don't have that. And, so they would have to establish that. So whatever Willie Green having these discussions with Troy Weaver and Joe Dumars, him telling them we need more aggression, and Willie shies and runs away from anything aggressive. It's just going to be an interesting mix. So perhaps he becomes something else. Man, he lets some of that Detroit stuff loose, and he starts getting a little tougher and whatnot. And, we've seen 4 years of Willie Green. We've seen a lot of stuff, and this will be a big year for him to be tasked with a must-win situation. The Pelicans have to get to the playoffs. Bottom line. So, and like I said, a lot of people kind of put the Pelicans down because of obvious reasons. I mean, the fact that the accountability aspect and the lack of vision and all the softness that we're dealing with that politician running the team earlier. But now that Joe Dumars is somebody with some credentials. And also the fact that he is the guy that came from the NBA side of things, in which the man was up there with the rules side of things. Maybe what kind of pull does Joe Dumars have with the league office in terms of how Zion's officiated? That's my big ass question. The two big questions I have in terms, I love what they're doing in the draft and how they're reshaping the lineup. I can respect all of these things. I like the movement, but the major questions is, one, what impact would Joe Dumars have and influence in the NBA to officiate Zion Williamson, who's accruing injuries because he's getting beat up on 9 calls? And the second thing is the health aspect. Joe Dumars said he had a discussion with the health staff about what happened with DeJounte Murray, and he, to figure out how could we fix this, that, and the third. Well, Joe Dumars years now. So that's two major things before you even talk about Willie Green. So these are things there is definitely things that are holding the team back. I mean, lack of identity, not knowing who we are to play through. The toughness aspect works because I really think the Pelicans need to mirror the image and the mindset of the blue-collar region in which it plays. New Orleans and the Pelican faithful are resilient.
You still there, brother? You cutting in and out, man.
The time to play behind that. They need to play behind that identity. So we'll see exactly how it plays, but that's some of the stuff I want to see going forward in terms of what's happening with this squad in terms of Joe Dumars, his impact in the league office in terms of officiating Zion Williamson, his impact in terms of how we maneuver or navigate the strengths of this health situation.
You cutting in and out there, Q. I don't know if it's your microphone or your reception. We got the gist of what you were saying, but a few things didn't catch.
Okay, good. I really hate to say that again.
Yeah, we got it, man. I mean, you dropped the whole sermon right there. But I think one of the big things, too, I don't know how much you can depend on rookies for this, but in the future, I noticed that we drafted 2 guys that are really good at getting to the line, man. Both of them are, like, identical. It's almost like 7 free throws a game for both of them. So I think that could help some with the free throw woes. But as far as the officiating of Zion, man, that's a tough one. I think ultimately for that, we're going to have to win, man. If we win at a high level consistently, more than the season here and the season there, I think the tide will change on him. But I think it's going to be another tough year for us that. But with the versatility that we have and just how many guys we have, I think it would be smart to, kind of lessen his minutes early on during the season, similar to what they did. Not actually a minute restriction. If it's a game and you need him to play, man, let the man play. But it's like, we up by 10 or whatever. Yeah, man, you can sit Zion down, like, you try to get him 28 minutes or whatever. I don't think it's any sense of pushing him high minutes early in the season, and maybe that can cut down on some of those injuries, because a lot of stuff I think with Zion that we don't think about is he gets hacked a lot, man. And I think at times that probably, builds up a toll on him as well, as far as his injuries. But I see you, Pelicans, Noel. I'm up on it, man. Got some picks again. We up here talking. Therio from Arkansas, he goes to it's the Clippers or the Lakers. So this pick was traded from Brooklyn. It's got to be LA. because they always had deals going together. Pretty good defender. I heard this dude one of the best defenders in the draft. And let's see the next pick we had. I think I mixed as well. Shaz Lanier, as well as Cam Jones from Marquette. So Shaz Lanier from Tennessee, from Toronto via Dallas. So I guess this must actually be Detroit's pick. It's like all these goddamn picks. All of them traded, man. It's like, wait, goddamn, all of them, man. It's like the pick we got. It's Washington here, but it's from Phoenix. That's the pick we got. They don't say nothing about us on there. So I don't know who these guys going to for real. But Shaz Lanier from Tennessee, man, I got to go to the NBA. The NBA one had it a little better, it seemed like. Because they'll tell you they don't have any information on this Detroit pick, so I guess he does go to Detroit. And this other one, Abdul was traded to the Lakers. It said reportedly traded to the Lakers via the Suns and the Wolves. Damn, how can two teams get in on one pick? It's via the Suns and the Wolves. I don't know how that worked. They traded half a pick each, but nonetheless. San Antonio is on the clock now, and we got Toronto in front of us, and it'll be us, family. So let's see what San Antonio picks. Well, they picked Cam Jones. They got Cam Jones. Guard out of Marquette. I think I already said that. I'll repeat myself. Cam Jones out of Marquette goes to San Antonio. So we're waiting to see what Toronto does, and then it'll be the New Orleans Pelicans / the Wizards from Phoenix. Go ahead and finish your statement, Q.
It's gonna be fun, man. I've enjoyed the day one of the draft. To be honest with you, I thought that the Pelicans did a really good job, man. We got a point guard of the now and for the future. We got a big that can score as well, help our second team. So I mean, and now the Pelicans have an opportunity to get a second round steal to add to the depth of the team, man. It's a pretty positive thing, man, going on with the team from a talent perspective and requirement. We had all this together, DC, with the Jordan Poole and the Sadiq Bey. This is shaping up to be a very lively all season for the Pelicans, man. We were waiting to see what Weaver and Dumars was going to do with the Pelicans and reshaping with how they play, well, in terms of the look of the team. And I have to be honest, a lot of people kind of surprised by the Jordan Poole pickup, but in the end, I thought it was a pretty solid move.
Yeah, Jordan Poole is one I think kind of goes under the radar a little bit, man, for people not paying attention, because Jordan Poole went to Washington, their first year, and just didn't play very well, in my opinion. But his next year, he came out, man. He started to look closer to what we saw in Golden State. And you talking about a Washington team, they didn't really have a lot. They had a lot of young guys, with some talent, but you didn't have any solidified players there. They're obviously not trying to win. Their organization is going nowhere. It's kind of like direction. It's really embarrassing to beat them. They're actually worse than us, the Wizards. So he put up some numbers over there, averaged like 21-5. And I think Jordan Poole, his skill set, man, it almost goes perfect with Zion. And in a lot of ways, it's similar to what we had in CJ McCollum in some ways. And I think in other ways, it's better. Like he's, to me, he can have that same thing that we don't like about CJ sometimes, where he takes some wild shots here and there. But I also do think he's still more unselfish and a little bit more under control in that aspect of reading the room. At least that's what I've observed when he played in Golden State. I don't know how he views this kind of roster. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, we like Renault. Michael, I just was talking about him. I guess you wasn't in here, man. That's what I want us to draft. But as far as Jordan Poole, I think he can provide a spot point guard for us. Let's say if Fears isn't ready, I think Jordan Poole can play point guard and do solid, man. I think he'll do better than CJ. we all know he's a shooting guard, and he plays off ball, but he can play on ball. He's just such a not a unique player, but it's almost like he's like a 6-man guy that you can play at shooting guard or point guard, and he shoots, a ridiculous percentage, and he was doing that with tough looks, against the Wizards, or maybe not, because who takes the Wizards serious? But still, his whole career, man. I mean, the dude's like 36% 3-point shooter, and he be shooting from the logo like Trey. So you got two guys, especially if he gets some space, man, and he can kind of get comfortable, with people not being on him like that, because you playing with the Zion gravity, man. It's kind of different. You know what I'm saying? So you can have somebody that can very well maybe up his percentage a little bit. Maybe he can get to being a 40% 3-point shooter if he can get more under control, not as many wild shots, and they kind of have a structure for him. But, I say all of this, and maybe I'm just being optimistic about next year, because Willie Green is the coach. So Jordan Poole got to basically figure everything out his fucking self. And I don't think he's going to figure all of that out in year one. But I still think he's definitely streaky. The No Chop podcast. That's Kai. What's up? He definitely streaky, bro. But he's streaky, but like, how is he with a lot of talent on him? He's not as streaky with a lot of talent on him. I think he's a lot more efficient when you got other guys you got to pay attention to, and you could just let him get these one-on-ones in favorable matchups, man. I think this will bode well for us, because we've seen so many times when, Elijah Martin goes to the Toronto Raptors, man. Guard out of Florida, was playing alongside Walter Clayton Jr. So that's right, Kai. Renard is right there. Maxi Renard, man, this should be our guy. Go double bigs. We need another big. And, man, we will have an interesting collection of players. I'm crowning the Pels the Summer League champions if they go ahead and draft him right here, man. This is going to be an interesting Summer League. But just to finish things up on Poole before we get to our pick, because we're going to be on the board next, I think Jordan Poole is going to do great here, man. I really do. And it puts things in a peculiar situation. After this draft pick, we can talk about, the starting lineups and how that's going to work. Because if Jordan Poole, I think he can basically do pretty much what he did in Washington. A little easier, on better efficiency, because it's going to be easier to get those points. But he has to be under control and, fit into whatever the system that we have. Do we really have a system? So they gotta figure that out. But
right,
he definitely presents a tough matchup on this team, man. We've seen so many times, like I was saying, where the ball will kind of get stagnant, and we had guys just like outside of Zion and Trey, but that's not his strongest point. Even though we've seen him excel and get better at that, and it may become a very well a big strength for him. But just beating people off the dribble, man, it was just like sometimes this offense would be just swimming in quicksand, man. And obviously, when B.I. was here, it was so slow, not quite methodical. But I think we're getting away from that. And we're a team now that we can run in transition. And when we are in the half court, we got enough shooting and enough guys that can beat their matchups to create an advantage, man. And actually, swing the ball and get some very good shot attempts. So, interested to see how all this looks.
Yeah, I just want people to understand, regardless of what happens with the Pelicans this season, the truth of the matter is it's truth time. Most of all of the people that needed to go have gone, and it's been a movement. The only thing that's left standing is who. So if who can't make what these people are bringing in here work.
Well, we're not picking Renault. I'm looking at it right now on ESPN. It's saying we're proposed a trade, which I get that. I get that.
Okay, what's the trade?
I don't know. They haven't reported it yet. But it's proposed trade. I don't know if they're maybe referring to that we already had this pick traded, but it just says proposed trade. So we gonna see, man. We got a minute and 16 seconds on my clock. I don't know. Some of you guys sometimes y'all be ahead. Feel free to put it in the chat if y'all see who drafted already. Okay,
People with fast internet right now, y'all. Y'all got fast internet. Y'all got the big.
Somebody put up Micah Peavy. Let's see what Micah Peavy is.
Well, they got the. It says Michael Peavy.
Micah Peavy. Man, where they found this dude at, man? I'm looking, boy. He way down here on this depth chart.
Georgetown. From Georgetown, guard. 6'6", 215 from Georgetown.
Oh shit. I like his numbers. Okay.
Yeah, versatile wing, solid size, who defends, high level intensity, had made notable strides in 3-point shooting, and is a fifth-year senior. His weaknesses are Peavy has unorthodox mechanics on his jumper, hitting 32% from 3 and 61 from the free throw line. Lackluster efficiency inside the arc, while his motor translates in various ways at the college level. He lacks great length for NBA purposes. With an even wingspan, he turns 24 in middle of July.
Man, this is a little scary, man. Looking at him, I'm saying projected role is saying a strong body, two-way wing who blossomed as a senior with improved three-point shooting, downhill scoring, and connective passing. Physical savvy attacking closeouts with flashes of on-ball defense, but must limit gambling and stay locked in off-ball to stick in rotation. His ceiling is, get this shit, Bruce Brown. Bruce Brown. A bigger Gabe Vincent, is also another cop. As well as a floor would be Paul Watson. I'm not familiar with him. But it seems like, this is he Herb Insurance? You got a 6'8" guy, man. Seems like kind of like a connector, 3-and-D guy. You already got Sadiq Bey. Like, what's going on there? We got 3 guys of a similar template. What are we doing there? This brother obviously can score, though. I mean, he averaged 17 points a season, 5.8 rebounds, 3.6 assists. You know what I'm saying? We'll try to get some highlights here for you guys. See if I can find something while y'all looking at this breakdown here. True shooting percentage of 55%. I mean, he seems solid, man. Seems solid. Then you got his stats here. Shooting splits, 59% at the rim. 24% usage. He shot 40% from 3-point line as a senior. Okay, so we're just looking for some shooting, maybe. 1.6. That's block percentage. I'm about to say that. Yeah, 1.6 blocks per game. Georgetown.
He kept Georgetown afloat at times. DC.
Oh yeah, he definitely was putting in work, bro. I just showed us he had 17 points a game, man.
Mm-hmm.
Not a bad pick at all. But just lets me know that I kind of figured that too. Like, we're not gonna take 3 young bigs.
Well, I mean, like we said, we talked about it. They still can go and bridge so they can find a better big to kind of help the young guys out.
I mean, we got 12 million. You know what I'm saying? So we're gonna have to sit up here and look at what's out there. And they might. You think they're gonna get one before we go into training camp?
Possibly. Maybe we have to identify some of the ones that's out there, but see which ones work best with what they got going on. But like I said, they're in a good position, man. I mean, adding talent, these young talented players, developmental players. Like, I don't expect Mr. Peavy to be impact player on the Pelicans this year.
No.
I see him more as a developmental player, if anything.
Maxi Ronaldo is still out there, man. And Golden State is on the clock, so I guess this is a pick they either got from Phoenix or they gave that pick to Phoenix. But here's the highlights of Michael Peavy, man. Check the brother out here. You know what, Q? Looking at this, who you look like? I see it already. Who does he look like?
Like the kid from UCLA?
He looked like I'm looking at him, man. He look kind of like a more stout Brandon Boston a little bit.
No, I don't see Brandon Boston.
He's not as quick as him.
Yeah, I don't see that. But he kind of.
I'm looking at the shots he taking, and just remember how Brandon Boston was playing. I guess he a little more down low. He got a strong build on him, man. I like what I'm seeing though.
Yeah.
It's a little bit more than what I thought I was seeing in the write-up. Thought I was looking at more of a defensive guy from what I was reading, but he got game, man.
Yeah.
Keon Brooks and Brandon Boston got some competition on their hands, man. We can't keep everybody, bro.
You got a nice selection of 3-point shooting, mid-range.
He got a little floater, a nice little face-up game. Okay, a little side step 3. Okay. Man.
Yeah, Peavy looks good, man.
Yeah, I like Peavy. Okay. Show me some defensive highlights, though. Okay, nice footwork.
Some of the fans say he'll pick your pocket.
Right, that's what I was reading. There you go. I was reading the write-up on him, and he sound like a guy was scoring upside, yeah, but a defensive guy. Like they was talking a little bit about that. And then I'm looking at his size and his measurables. He's solid, man. He got a grown man. He got a 6'8".
Oh, 6'8"?
I saw 6'8", but you know how them things be. Everybody off by 2 inches.
Yeah, Todd says 6'8". I just looked at it.
I saw 6'8".
It showed me he was 6'6".
That look right though. He don't look 6'8" looking at him.
6'6", 215. This was ESPN has.
Yeah, he big, man. So I mean, what would we would have to play him probably at the 3 spot, right? Yeah, under the little normal size 3, oversized 2. Not really oversized 2, but big 2.
Yeah, he can move back and forth with it. I guess his offensive game develops, but he looks like a defensive player. I've seen how he went from defense to offense. Right, he looked like a natural part of his game. So I mean, yeah, he definitely a guy that's developmental skills. What's up, Bird Talk? Slim, what's up, fam? Shout out to you guys. Live Stu, what's up, brother? How you doing? All right, y'all hit the like button for us. Yes, this is 2.0. We in the building. Day 2, Pelicans pick up guard
Michael Peavy. Micah Peavy.
Mika. Is it Micah or Mika? Mika Peavy.
It depends on how they pronounce it. It's Micah or Mika. And Kobe Bria. Kobe Bree.
Bria, yeah.
Yeah, Bria goes
to
Golden State. Golden State, huh?
Yes. Yeah, they pick up. They get themselves another. They get them a 6'6" guard too.
Yeah. So Michael Peavy probably was definitely going to them. And it was a run on guards, man. You had Chaz, Cam, Elijah, Micah, and Kobe, all guards.
Yeah.
What are we doing with all these damn guards?
They're gonna compete for a spot. It's about to get real competitive.
Man, I guess nobody's guaranteed. Huh? The people we traded for could still get shipped out of here. So a lot of guards, man. Then you still got you got Jordan Hawkins, you got Antonio Reeves, you got Brandon Boston, you got I guess Keon Brooks is a small forward. Alfred Payton, Jose Alvarado, Jamiah Fierce, DeJounte Murray. I still feel like I'm missing somebody. Jordan Poole.
You still Jose?
Yeah. We got like 10 guards, man.
A lot of guards, bro.
10 guards, man.
A lot of wings and guards, bro.
This is interesting.
It's going to be interesting. Yeah, it should. Let me ask you this, man. I want y'all to chime in the chat, man. All the Pelican faithful. Number one, shout out to you guys. Appreciate y'all being in the stream. Got almost 200 people in here. Y'all do me a service. Number one, hit the like button and share. Let me ask you guys this question. Do you guys think that Willie Green, the head coach of the New Orleans Pelicans currently, did he have anything with the selection or the thought process of any of these players that we see? Or is this totally an invention of the administration? I'll put it in the chat.
You're wrong for that, bro.
I'm just asking DC. Remember, this is on our record because remember this happened with Stan Van Gundy. Remember Stan Van Gundy got to the podium and told on his own self. He said when they asked him about Kyrie Lewis Jr., he said to him, "I let them make that selection," and he started having PTSD going back to when he was a DB.
Ain't it funny how they come full circle though? Because now we have Jamiah Fierce, and to me, Jamiah Fierce is everything that we wanted Kyrie Lewis Jr. to be already. He's already where we were trying to get Kyrie to be. Ain't that crazy?
I know that's what I say. He's the anti-KLJ. So I mean that works at so many levels, man. Well, and that was a pick that set us back too, man. I don't even much want to go back there. But look at the comments. Bird Talk says no. Darwin, what's up, Darwin? Says no. What's up, Jarrell? Says no. Stacy says yes. I think Willie is involved. Young City says nope. Black Preach Man, how you doing, sir? Said this is all Joe. Lou says Hawkins will be gone. LB Don says hell no. They got him sitting just how he was sitting in the Saints room, way in the back in the corner. All right, Wallace. What's up, bro? Wallace says hell no. All right. So 392 Slim says Joe drafting all dogs. Thank you, bro. Appreciate that comment. All right.
Joe said he gonna get his predecessor.
Brother Don says no way. Slim says no. Tied with the fact that this is definitely Joe putting his imprint on the team, and Lou says no. So thank y'all for that, man. Just wanted to get that on record because we dealt with this before, and I think Willie Green is involved, but this is definitely to me a Joe Dumars along with a Troy Weaver production. Willie Green sweeping the floor. So that's all I got to say on that. And listen, like people are kind of. I heard Lex and others about Willie Green and this, and he is ultimately the one that will, have a major impact on winning on the floor as a head coach does, right? But this team and the players that they're getting, the new administration first time stepping in there, all those other guys that supported Willie going outside of Gale. Pressure's on Willie in a way that he hadn't seen because other guys were top on him. This pressure on him. So he's going to be, it's going to be interesting, DC, to see how he goes, and it'll be interesting to see how many games will he be allowed to head coach or, in terms of wins and losses. Up to a point, you got to have a point. You can't let him spoil the whole season if you're not putting together a constructive team that's winning. Because this team right here, this ain't no wait and see thing. This team is being graced by people that's coming in here like Poole and Sadiq, and then they get these young guys hitting 45 the bench. This is a moment we need to win right now type moment. The hell with the future stuff. We need to win right now. We need to get on the plus side of it. So Willie Green in front of this, if he don't get it right, he's going to be out of here licking his split fast. And hopefully what the Pelicans do, fam, is that they find, because ultimately you see Coach Borrego has been basically, just been every year it seems he's doing the Trajan Langdon dance. Y'all remember when Trajan Langdon every year he was looking to get the hell out of Dodge? And you see Borrego every year doing the same thing, going out and trying to talk to people, this type of stuff. Hopefully Joe Dumars do slip in a coach, bring in a coach who has some type of credential resume, that if Willie Green falls down, that this guy could step in and take over and keep it going. That appeases the request by Gail to want to hold on for Willie a year with that 1 year on the contract.
He got to interview with the Pistons, not the Pistons, the Knicks. We don't know how that went. Don't sound like he got hired, or maybe they didn't have an interview yet. But James Borrego, like you said, obviously wants out. It's just a matter of time when he's gonna get out, or if he's gonna get out at this point, right?
Exactly.
But,
and that's my talking about. Go ahead, DC.
It looked like we may have struck gold again, man. Micah Peavy, I'm looking at a different website of a draft breakdown here at NBADraft.net, and looking at the their layout profile of him, it looks pretty solid, man. I mean, he's balanced all the way across the board. The dude got sevens. That's the lowest he got, and the highest he's got is eights. He's a 90 overall. They had him 36 on the board, and I guess last year he was 37th. Peavy is a long, athletic, and versatile wing who showed vast improvements as a senior at 6'7". So I got 6'6", 6'8", and 6'7". So I'm gonna say 6'7". Just put him in the middle. So that'll put him, in small forward territory. Justin Jackson is one of his NBA comps. So at 6'7", with a long, solid frame, broad shoulders, quick twitch, athleticism, he brings NBA-ready physical tools and defensive versatility. Averaged 17.2 points, 5.8 rebounds, 3.6 assists, and 2.3 steals per game on 48% shooting from the field. That's not bad. And 2024-25 while playing 37 minutes per contest for Georgia. Took a major leap as a perimeter shooter, hitting 40% of his threes on 4.1 attempts per game. An encouraging development from previous Shanky from previously Shanky spot up threat, comfortable attacking closeouts and finishing through contact, using his strength and coordination to convert around the basket, active cutter and transition threat who does not need plays run for him to impact the game. Posted a career high 3.6 assists per game, showing improved vision and decision making, particularly when operating out of the pick and roll or in drive and kick scenarios. Defensively, he stands out with a 2.3 steals per game, using his length, time, and anticipation to pressure the ball and disrupt passing lanes. Can guard multiple positions on the wing, thanks to his lateral quickness and his physicality. Shows the team first mentality, plays with consistent energy, and embraces difficult assignments on both ends. And in the draft combine, he was 5th, I think, in all forwards in lane agility. So solid pick here, man. His weaknesses, though, they say though Peavy shot 40% from three, it remains to be seen if that mark is sustainable long term. For his career, he shot just 32% from deep and 60 from the free throw line. Ugh. Yeah, that's kind of bad. 60 from free throw line. They ain't say nothing about what he shot in the free throw line in senior year in that type of article either, so might not be that good. Indicators that touch and consistency could still be question marks. His free throw percentage in 2025 was just 65%, despite the improved perimeter numbers, and his form remains rigid and mechanical. Doesn't offer much shot creation and isolation, relies heavily on straight line drives, does not have an advanced handle, lacks dependable mid-range game on pull-ups, Most of his offense is derived from within the Florida system rather than individual creation. I mean, shit, he'd be great for a role player. Turnover prone when forced to make multiple dribbles or reads under pressure. 2.6 turnovers per game. Defensively, while effective, he can occasionally overlap help or gamble, leading to breakdowns or fouls. Detractors will note that he didn't emerge statistically until his fifth year and was often older than his competition. Will turn 24 in July, and his age may cause teams to question his long-term upside despite improvement. Some scouts may wonder if he was simply out-muscling younger players late in his career. Okay. Well, it seems a lot like the Antonio Reeves pick to me. You know, you're getting a guy that's kind of already ready. You know, typically like a fifth year guy. You know, and I can see that too. Now, I don't see him as a Herb's replacement though, my man. You know, he said once he's traded before the All Star break. I think Sadiq Bey will be Herb's replacement if we go in that route. Micah will be the backup to, you know, Sadiq Bey. You know, he will be that small forward guy. Probably if Brandon Boston doesn't work out. I don't know how they feel about him or if he's still battling that it was a knee injury or ankle injury. Yeah, I think he had an ankle injury, right? Him and Brandon Ingram. They still ain't came back from them goddamn ankle injuries, which I think is crazy for both of them. But so to me, this guy has more of a, you know, how many 3-and-D wings, you know, can't you have? Keon Brooks is definitely on the high seat, I would say, with this because he can definitely snatch that two-way slot. Or Keon could be safe if Brandon Boston, this injury thing is crazy when we wind up waiving him. So let's look at the newly acquired depth chart here. Let's see what the Pels look like. As we can talk about and get your take, Q, because you wasn't here yesterday on the starting lineup.
Yeah, this going to be interesting, man. And I think the philosophy, too, got to be if you're Joe Dumars, and if you ain't doing nothing to fix that health step, you're trying to fortify the teams best they can, man, to try to absorb injury.
They got PG, though.
Right, so I don't, you know, I haven't heard anything in terms of improving the health staff in terms of the Pelicans is concerned. So, you know, I can understand them kind of load up some of these players, man, just in case, what you call them, emergency break the glass, just in case players.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm looking at then you got people who still day to day and all of this. They added Sadiq Bey up here. He wasn't there yesterday. He's day to day. So, you know, you got guys that are injured. Trey Murphy, I'm not sure if he's going to start the season. Is Herb going to start the season? They both got the same shoulder injury, you know, and that's all, you know, pretty much our forward. We got Brandon Boston who's injured. So he could just be, you know, a depth piece, break in case of emergency. You got Keon Brooks Jr. here. I don't know why they signed him. Jamal Cain, like he's not on the team anymore. And Bruce Brown is also gone. Lester Quinos, I'm not sure if they signed him either. Or Kyler Kelly. You remember Kyler Kelly? Q?
Yeah, I think he was one they picked up late last year.
True 7-footer.
Yeah, I don't think he's on the team. But yeah, I think Quinos is on the two-way deal. Wasn't he signed to two-way contract?
Say Quinos was signed to
on that. See if you can. I want to say he's one of our two-way players. He signed to a two-way, wasn't he? You can pull it up off of Sport Track. Might have over the cap. I think that was cool. But yeah, Brown is not here. JRE, Kane, this Kyor kid. I don't think none of these guys are unrestricted guys. I think a couple of those guys are restricted free agents. You know, that the Pelicans have some of the lesser players. But they should show you on the sport track.
Let's see. So you got Jalen Crutcher still on the two-way. Lester Quinones is on the two-way. Keon Brooks and they got McCain here, but they don't have any money here, so I don't know if those slots are open. And we didn't bring anybody back. Um, God damn, they ain't paying Alfred Payton nothing. Damn,
Yeah, I think if there's no money next to him, I think those players aren't on the team.
yeah.
That's what
So Alfred Payton, they have some type of option I know on him, as well as Brandon Boston. And Mo Bamba is still on the team. That's interesting. Maybe that's how they're gonna use him as a backup center. True 7-footer.
Not certain, but you can see some of these guys when we start firing.
Forgot he was on the team.
You'll see some of those guys in the summer. We're gonna know a lot about them.
And Mo Bamba is only 26. Man, it felt like that dude is old as hell. He's been around the league forever.
Yeah, he's been around the block a handful of times.
Right. And then you got Brandon Boston Jr., sitting there at 500,000. Antonio Reeves, Carlo Makovich, Jose Alvarado, Jeremiah Robinson. This can't be right, man, because I think this is let's see, can we go to the new league year started already? Yeah. Well, here we go. This is it. Let's start back at the bottom. See, so you got Jeremiah Fears here, and I guess they would have to adjust that for Derek Queen. Gary Clark is on the team still. Why are they showing Bruce Brown Jr.? He's not okay. He's free agent, but he still got the cap hit, I guess, until he's officially moved. Derek Queen, $5 million. Why is Willie Herman Gomez still here? Tony Snell.
They're showing you money.
This still cap hold, so I guess they still owe these guys.
Yes.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I think some of that's still on them. Some of those.
So the only two-way guy we actively have is Lester Quinones, which is an excellent shooter. So I ain't mad at that.
I like Quinones. He showed me
right.
he could play.
So Alfred Payton and Brandon Boston, they got them in the red, so I guess they can cut them at any times. Alfred Payton, they gave him $3 million instead of that $51,000 we was looking at on up there. And yeah, Brandon Boston got $2.3 million. You got Yeast, Jose, Jordan Hawkins. Yeah, Jordan Hawkins is due for $7 million next year too. I was looking at that. I was like, God damn. They might trade Hawk, man. I don't know if you can justify paying him $7 million. You got Herb here. Herb's cap hit is what, 14 million this year. DeJounte Sadiq Bey only making 6. Jordan Poole 31.
That window, DC, we talk about windows all the time. Windows, Pelicans don't have.
We still got space though, man. We got $18 million to the first apron, so we can actually let's see, free agent centers. We may actually be able to pull off free agent signing, or maybe just get a solid center. See who's available.
Like who?
Well, I'm looking to see who's available. I'm trying to see what centers are available right now.
Y'all put in the chat, fam. Help us out. If there's a center, I know a lot of families are saying that, hey, man, we need to bet big.
Brooke Lopez.
Who in see y'all guys like?
Brooke Lopez is an unrestricted free agent. You got Clint Capella, who's an unrestricted free agent. You have Miles Turner, who's also an unrestricted free agent, but you got to expect him to go back to Indiana, right? Nas Reed is negotiating the contract.
Oh, you would think. I don't know. Somebody might go through.
You have a player option. He's got a player option. Mortez Wagner, that would have been a nice choice, but he looks like he's on the team option with Orlando. Al Horford is going to be on the market for $39. Kevin Looney. I wouldn't hate it, but it's like, damn, man, we need some size.
Davon Looney and Walsh, bro.
Yeah, you got I mean, we just need a veteran center, man. He ain't gonna be starting. Um,
You want somebody that can move, that got some size to
Andre Drummond, like, I don't know about him. Tyrese Gibson, Mason Plumlee, DeAndre Jordan, Tristan Thompson. Hang it up, Tristan. So then you get to the names I do not know or care about. Thomas Bryant, no. Tristan Jackson Hayes, y'all for bringing Jackson Hayes back?
No.
Jalen Williams, Jericho Sims. I guess the Liddell kid would probably be the best option from these names I'm looking at. They just let him go from the Rockets. He was solid. Liddell from the Rockets. Paul Reed, I like him, but still, undersized. Bismack Biyombo still collecting checks out here. Yeah, man, we probably have to get a center in a trade, unless we're gonna try to go after. I don't think it wouldn't be bad to sign Clint Capella. I think for a year or two. You let him come in here and speed up Misi, maybe help Derek Queen get acclimated.
I mean, he a monster on the boards, bro.
We had problems rebounding
Even at his
last year, man.
advanced age. Even at his advanced age, just one thing he does do is go for those rebounds and block shots. So he a little up there in age, man, but he can help as a backup.
Let me see what the fan we're talking about. I see your Pelicans. No, the preview was ranked 36 in one of the mock drafts I looked at. 37 last year. Don Guillory, Aiden or Isaac, maybe. I would love Isaac, man. That would be awesome, but it also would complicate things too. Because if we get Isaac, you run into a situation, man. How you gonna play all these guys? You got Isaac, Derek Queen, Yves Misi. Who's taking a back seat?
I mean, whatever vet you get,
a small ball lineup though.
Right, he got to be an inexpensive vet big, bro. He can't be somebody with a big contract. The bigger the contract, you're forced to play. And I guess depending on how you mixing them in with your young bigs, that'll be interesting. But I mean, you don't want to overspend. Plus, I mean, the DeJounte Murray part is still $30-something million for DeJounte Murray once he gets up under that injury. See what he looks like. Yeah, with that.
Then we got all these. Yeah, we got all the players. We got to see who going to get let go too after all these picks, man. Summer league is going to be interesting. You're going to have some guys getting cut. You still got guys out there that they want to be moved, like a DeAndre Ayton, Kristaps Porzingis. They went to Atlanta. You just see how some of this stuff in the centers that got drafted. How does that affect what the teams do with some of these other veteran players they got? So you got a guy like Mitchell Robinson. What's going on with him? You know what I'm saying? Even though he stays injured. But we're looking for a starting center basically just for starting caliber center for like a year just to bring these guys up to speed, man. Let me see. 504 Cole said go grab Lopez. I wouldn't be mad at him, man. Herb is not expendable. How quickly we forget. No, we love Herb, man. I hope Herb retires here, but looking at Sport Track, we got to look at these numbers, man. Let me go to, you look in 2027, Jordan Poole cap kit goes up. Zion making more money. You know what I'm saying? DeJounte making another $2 million. Trade money going up. Herb gonna make 14. Jordan Hawkins making $7 million. And then this Herb last year. You know what I'm saying? So what are we gonna do when his contract up? You looking at paying Herb, you gonna pay Herb $20-25 million a year? I don't know if we can swing that. I don't know if we will swing that.
The answer is no. We're not going to pay her 20-something million. It's not going to happen.
You don't think they'll pay her $20 million a year?
No,
We're gonna still
I
have
don't think so.
our rookies under contract. DeJounte, I don't know, man. Since we got Jamal Ferris, how long do we keep DeJounte? Does he finish his
That's the,
contract here? Because he's got 3
well,
years left.
that's what I was saying. I mean, I know Joe Dumars said he talked to him about smoothing things
I
over.
think he can actually
You gotta
play.
stay on the timeline.
I think he could play with Fierce and Jordan Poole, like his game. I think because Poole is definitely an outside shooter. Fierce, I think, is gonna be able to get that ability, man. I mean, he had 85, 86% free throw shooter. I think Fierce is gonna be able to shoot, man. A lot of people talking about him shooting, like they don't realize he's a 38% catch and shoot guy. You know what I'm saying? His pull up is what he got to work on. I think you give him a couple of years, you're gonna see that improve. But it's almost like the writing's on the wall, though, right, Q? Because if we're not trade, this will be the indication. If they're not moving Jose, which I'm not advocating for any of these moves for them to move him, but if they're not moving Jose, you're not cutting Alfred Payton, which I don't know how much he mattered in the grand scheme of things. John Poole staying on the team. Jamal, feel like how many point guards are they really going to keep? And not only that, because I like having a lot of point guards, but you're going to have Jordan Poole and DeJounte Murray tied up $60 million?
That's what I'm saying. And once DeJounte Murray gets healthy, I mean, we heard what Joe said. You can start Fears and Poole if you want to. And yeah, I mean, you're gonna have to manage the top 10 pick. So I mean, you definitely want to see what you're working with. But if you put Fears and Poole out there as your backcourt, eventually when Murray gets healthy and well enough to play, he's going to move in there, and he's not going to be a $30 million point guard off the bench. So eventually he's going to have to start.
And you know what, Q? I just thought about something, man. I answered my own question that I asked you and proposed to you and the family. Herb ain't going nowhere. You know why? Herb Jones is one of the rare guys. I think he would actually take a discount to stay. I don't think he wants to leave. He just comes across as that type of guy, man. He might take the 3 or 4 million less to make it work.
I mean,
he got one more year after this. He's going into the contract year next year.
I'm not going to poo-poo what you're saying about Herb Jones. But this is the thing. These injuries, nagging injuries to Herb Jones, really messing with his development. Because we see when Herb was healthy, one of the top defenders in the NBA coming up, stopping people. Plus, he had developed that three-point shot. And he was looking real balanced. It really turned into a true
to me, he's unique in the aspect. He's
let me finish this, and I want you to add on top of it. So we seen injuries stifle Herb's development, right? But I still think Herb got a lot to go here. Now, perhaps what could he really turn into? Could we really get the top-notch Herb? Like we seen Trey, we seen the maturation of Trey Murphy, how he grew from what he was, and then he put it all together. He's just not a spot-up shooter, or three-point shooter anymore. He's attacking the rim. He's even, taking a little the mid-ranges every now and again. So we've seen what Trey do. We need to see that from Herb. If we can get Herb Jones defense like we've seen before, like that lockdown guy, along with that three-point shot DC, and more time on the floor, I mean, hey man, I might be willing to pay between that 16 to $20 million range for a healthy defensive stopper, three-point shooting ass Herb Jones. I wouldn't be mad at that at all. Now, what you think about that?
Well, you was breaking up, man, on mine. I couldn't really hear your breakdown at the end.
Well, what I'm saying is the Herb Jones thing, a mature, Herb healthy, three-point shooting, defense elevated. I might be willing to pay a cost similar to what you just said. If I can get a healthy Herb that's defense off the chain like we've seen elevated and that three-point shot together, I might be willing to pay that. But we got to get that from Herb.
I think you will. I don't think we can expect her to be a 40% 3-point shooter, but I think somewhere around 36, can be pretty average for him. And then going into the corners, he probably shoot down there 45%. Just in the corners. But Herb is he's unique in that he's a guy that when you put him 1-on-1, like I see people get Herb sometimes here, but Herb can cover up all your mistakes. And then I'm thinking about Fears, right? It would be highly beneficial while we bring him along, or whether you want to look at Jordan Poole that way. Is when you have, two of our weaker defenders out there, that you pair them up with Herb. Because he's going to erase mistakes. He single-handedly, makes our defense better all around the board. And then that's right, Don Guillory, you already get to it. Defensive Dumars ain't letting Herb go. Dumars got up here and he told us, Q, and you can look at all of these guys we got right here. He told us he wants more two-way players, right? So saying that, you're looking at a guy like Jordan Hawkins is going to be on the hot seat, right? Jemiah Fears, he already got that dog in him. And, I was saying this the other night. I don't know if you listen to his interviews, but hearing his interviews, man, like his energy kind of remind me of Herb. I think he's actually going to be a pesky defender, man. I think he cut from a similar cloth like Herb, man. Just guy dedicated to the work. He going to get in there and work at it, and they going to give him an opportunity, and he going to grab it and not let it go. Then you got who's the other? Jordan Poole. Jordan Poole would be the only other, defensive liability we have on paper, just judging by these guys' games. Obviously, Derek Queen got to come in here and show it, but Yves is a defensive guy. He's working on his offense. I put up a workout video of Yves showing to the family yesterday. He's sitting there trying to work on the block and put things together, get better offensively, positioning himself better. And, being able to, I think he needs to work on the rebounds a little bit more, although he has had drastic improvement. But Carlo Makovich would be another guy. As much as I like Carlo would be, one of them guys that's on the bubble, man. Carlo defensively, he became serviceable at times, but that's the weaker part of his game. That's what's keeping him off the floor, his defense, right? So you got Jordan Hawkins, Carlo, Poole, Jemiah Fears, we ain't letting them two go. So these two guys, then you look at somebody like Brandon Boston and Alfred Payton. None of those guys are really like two-way players. Maybe I could kind of give Brandon Boston a pass. He's a solid defender. He's not bad. You know what I'm saying? But Alfred Payton ain't guard nobody, bro. As much as I like Alfred Payton, he ain't guard nobody, bro. You know what I'm saying? So thinking about that, it's like, why would Joe Dumars get rid of Herb, right? And DeJounte Murray coming off of Achilles, how good is his defense going to be? Because when he got here, it's like every stop he went to, his defense tailed off a little bit. Now, he came when he was out there, he was putting up them steals, he was putting up some numbers when he got here, obviously making some mistakes too. So I can't really see or gauge what his defense was because I'm not going to grade the whole totality of what DeJounte Murray is for us from the small sample size we got. I don't think we had enough time. And what he was going to, his mom having a stroke, his uncle say he overdosed, and somebody, his cousin, I think, or somebody got shot and killed. The man obviously had a lot going on. So, but his time in Atlanta, he wasn't quite the defender he was in San Antonio. But he still got that dog in him, so are we hanging on to him? And I think after you figure that part out as far as sifting through these guards, then you'll get your answer on Herb. But now that I'm really looking at it, I don't think there's any way that they get rid of Herb, especially now that they're showing us they're all in on winning. And Trey Murphy and Herb have been two of the best players so far playing alongside Zion.
Well, DC, you make some compelling points, man. All I know is that we know how good these guys can be. I mean, Herb Jones, we've seen him develop. I think a lot of these moves, we got to remember that Joe Dumars, Troy Weaver, these guys know the medicals. All these players that know the exact timelines, exactly based on the medical staff, the projected time frames when these guys could return to full action, and perhaps, and I definitely think a lot of these moves are based on that. How the Pelicans, what the Pelicans open the season with, you know, and of course we know that there's a thing hanging over Zion's head, this lawsuit situation that's hanging over his head. So we got some stuff going into this season that we need to really kind of fixate in. And one of the family members mentioned in the chat that we talk about a lot of stuff, but we know this team is centered. It's a Zion-centric team. Everything's evolved around him. He must reach another level. He did really good last year in terms of his health and doing it and improving it. But he needs to really kind of, at this point, really take it up there. And I think Joe Dumars helps in many ways. I mean, in fact, and even though a lot of the family members are now kind of warming up to the Joe Dumars idea, a lot of people want to see it more prolonged.
I don't know, man. But I look at the timeline. I think a lot of people, they talking about firing him. They mad, man. But I think some people just can't please, bro.
Well, that's the point. And some people need to just be proven. Maybe they need to just be shown. They're just tired of all of the rhetoric that the Pelicans have been, the propaganda they've been kicking out for years. It's just warring on a group of people. So I get that part. But in terms of Joe Dumars, what he brings, that championship as a player, he won one as an administrator. So that's a little further along than we had before. A guy that just basically was a gopher for another guy that told him what to do. No credentials whatsoever. So these players can warm up to a Joe Dumars. They can have Zion Williamson sitting down and talking about him playing up against Jordan, how Jordan respected Joe Dumars as one of the toughest defenders and this type of stuff. So, I mean, then not only just that, fam, but it's the fact that his connection to the league office. I mean, Griffin had no leverage, no reach into that. Joe Dumars worked for the league office for how long was it? Over a decade. So, I mean, he was there in the league office, so he has some pull there. That is very compelling within itself. So we talk about him being one of the top 50 greatest players. We're talking about him winning as an administrator and bringing Detroit back to relevancy and getting him a championship. Wasn't perfect, but he did what he was supposed to do to win. So that is being a player. That is being an administrator. And now coming here and talking about something, that's something that man built his whole career about, being in DC, is being a great player, a person in this mentality to have. So, hey, man, I welcome that, and I'm really intrigued to see if he has any reach with the office to do something about the officiating with Zion Williamson. That is one of the things that I really want to see if Joe Dumars can help us out with that. That's something that I really want to see. That to me is astronomical. Even so, as far as the medical stuff.
Yeah. Only time will tell, though, man. So far, so good with Joe. Can you point out any missteps he had? Because really thinking about it, I don't. The only issue I got with Joe is that Willie Green isn't fired, and based on all the other moves I've seen, it's obvious to me he's not allowed to fire him. So it's like,
well, right. Well,
he
right.
hasn't really done anything wrong yet. You know, all his moves, in my opinion, I guess you want to say not putting protection on that pick. I don't know if he tried to in Atlanta shut it down. Or if he just forgot to do it. You know, he's been out of practice for a while. He could have just forgot.
No, I think he just didn't put unprotected on that because that made it even more compelling for the Hawks to grab that. The one, it's unprotected. That made him grab at it because he believes that much in Queen. But this is the thing: if the Pelicans win this season, the people are not going to worry too much about that pick. They'll see it as a success. The only way that pick comes back up in a negative way is if the Pelicans lose this season and they bottom out. then that becomes an issue. But if the Pelicans win, it's a gamble. That's all it is. It's a gamble. So he's done a lot of positive stuff. Like I said, he's not perfect, but I do appreciate him doing the CJ, trade CJ, trying to get somebody with some offensive game. Here with Zion. Poole is a good player, good young player, coming here. You add Sadiq Bey, we got to see what he's working with because he's a good defender, but he was hurt all last year. You got to get help. Those are very good moves. I like the moves in the draft. I like Jeremiah Pierce. I like Queen, like I said before. So outside of that, it's aggressive moves to show people, hey, man, we're not about the same melancholy game we was back then. We're trying to win, man. We're trying to do some stuff. So I can appreciate that. So we just going to have to see, man, on that. So, yeah, he's not perfect, DC, but the Willie Green thing, that's Gail Benson to the core. That's something the Pelicans, that's a staple in the Pelicans psychology. They did it with Monty Williams. Remember when he came in, when Dale Demps came in, Dale Demps had 1 year under Monty before he got rid of him, and he wasn't supposed to get rid of him. But he fired him anyway to hire Elvin Gentry. Then Gentry got it done to him when they got what's the face out of here? They got the next guy, Griffin, in here. So he got him out. So, like I said, it's a thing that the Pelicans have done over time. She stepped in there. I like, this thing. Like I kind of make like Willie Green is such a nice man, that type of stuff. So she wants to keep the guy and all this kind of stuff, but that's definitely her. She stopped the octopus from firing in last year and then proceeded to get him out of here. So, yeah, she don't know what she's doing, man. But in the end, we know that they're playing by her rules. We know that Joe Dumars would have gotten rid of Willie Green. We know he would have gotten rid of him. These guys don't step in here and do all this changing and put all these new people here and know that man know that that Willie Green lost his team last year. He lost the team. You don't keep a guy that lost his team, like that. And Willie Green is not a strategist. He's not one of these guys that's going to terraform into Popovich. This guy is just not who he is. He's an assistant coach that got a head coaching job. We're not going to see the jump like we seen with Jamal Mosley in Orlando, like we seen with Lee in Charlotte. These guys are good coaches that go up. Willie Green is not on that level. I'm sorry, he's not. So in the end, they're gonna give him a runway to land, DC, and he got all. It's gonna all be on him. It's all on Willie Green to get all these people on the same page.
With all the positive note, because every time you bring up Willie Green, man, we need to ring the alarms and shit. He on the clock.
No, that is very positive. To the contrary, I disagree with you.
Let's hear from number 40 pick, Michael Prevey. You got him here. Let's hear from this little ESPN interview he did. It's a quick 30-second interview.
Mike, I watched some of your pre-draft interviews, and you felt very strongly about your ability to make an impact on the defensive end. What gives you the confidence on that side of the ball?
I just feel like I impact the game at that end of the floor better than anybody in the country. So I just can't wait to show that at the NBA level.
You've had a very business-like approach, and even now. But talk to me a little bit about the emotions of achieving this dream and the opportunity now to begin an NBA career.
Man, this journey was a marathon, 5 years in college. I just thank my family and my coaches, just everybody who's been a part of this. I thank God. This is crazy. This is my dream. So
congratulations, Micah.
Thank you.
Micah, I watched some of your pre-draft.
You got Micah up at the podium, man. Tell us a little bit about him. Hate to cut you off, man. Just wanted to get that out there before he disappeared off my board. But nonetheless, the pals are all set now. So now we got to get all these guys and move on to Summer League, man, and see what we can make out of that. Because I think that, as of now, it's the most important moment that we have in the near future because the Summer League is going to reveal a lot of things. We probably won't see many moves, possibly maybe a veteran center before that. We probably won't see that before the Summer League because I think they're going to look at these guys and gauge what they really have. You're gonna have guys like Jeremiah Fears, Derek Queen out there playing, and that brings me back to the initial thing I brought up, and I didn't get to hear your take fully on it. What would your starting lineup be as of now? Mine, I said it would be Jordan Poole with an asterisk by Jeremiah Fears, because I don't know if Herb is going to be able to start the season or not. If Herb is starting the season, I can't see him starting Fears unless he just absolutely dominates the summer league. But if Herb isn't starting, then it'd be Fears, Poole, Trey, Zion, and they would have to play Eves. If Herb is in this lineup, I think they go Poole, Herb, Trey, Zion, and I'm going to go with Derek Queen. I think right now Derek Queen is actually better than Yves Missi, but he is a rookie, and we're talking about a center. I'm not sure if he's ready for that physicality, but his skill set, to me, is so high. I think it's something to be said for that, unless we go sign a veteran center. What say you, BQ?
Well, I mean, I like that second lineup you mentioned, man. That's a very intriguing lineup that you mentioned, man. That's that.
I'm sorry. Real quick, I got a little super chat, real quick, brother. My bad.
Yeah, good.
Appreciate you, Black Preacher, man. $2, man. Appreciate the 2 bones. Joe will have to micromanage Willie. You already know, man. Like I told you yesterday, I think Joe gonna have cameras and shit up there. He be collecting all type of data to show Miss Benson when it's time to get rid of Willie ass in November.
See, all I can say is it ain't like Willie ain't used to micromanaging, so he should be right at home with that micromanaging stuff. You understand? But in terms of your lineup, I like both those. I think probably if all those guys are healthy, it changes. But obviously, DeJounte Murray's not going to be ready until way later in the season. You got a guy that's a top 10 selection like Jeremiah Fears. I think you might see Jeremiah Fears in the starting 5 this season, along with Poole. I mean, you can see him.
Everything I hear about him, he's a hard worker, Q. He might win Willie over, man.
Right, that's what I'm saying, though. I mean, and on top of that, it's the pressure for the Pelicans to get that guy in there. He's a top 10 pick at a position in the league. I mean, Jordan Poole can play off of him. I mean, he can play the 2 guard position. We know he's a combo guy that that can play the 1.
Can work.
But I like
just kind of small on defense.
Herb Jones. Right, but the thing is also too. You mentioned the second lineup that I like too of having Poole and Herb, and then you said Zion, Trey, and Yves. Is that the correct lineup you said?
No, the first one I'm putting Yves out there for the defense, because I got Jeremiah Fears and Jordan Poole with Trey Zion. It's like I need some defense, so I put Yves out there. But the other lineup was I said Jordan Poole, Herb, Trey, Zion, and Derek Queen. Start Derek Queen, and I went into what I think about him and what he can do. And then I'm kind of banking on Herb, picking up some of the slack defensively, so it won't be as hard for him. Obviously, that lineup will be matchup dependent because certain teams we playing, you wouldn't be able to do that. I'm not sure if Derek Queen is there far as with his man body yet and the type of strength that it's going to take to be able to play that position in the NBA. A lot of people have him projected more of a forward than a center, but I think he can play both, man. He seems to be a very intelligent dude. He attacks the boards. He's solid enough defensively to where I think we could get him in position where it won't be a layup line. Obviously, you would have some problems with him switching, even though he's pretty nimble, just adjusting to the NBA, man. He's a rookie. But the offensive potential of that lineup is just unmatched, man. I think it would be insane. It would be insane, man. Like just easy basketball. Those guys playing together, I think they would mesh very well together, and everybody's skill sets can complement the others.
Yeah, I actually love that lineup you mentioned right there. That to me, that wild me right there to have a Queen and Zion there in the same lineup, man. That's really fly. See that kind of thing. Also, listen, DC, let's not underestimate our young draft picks, the first round draft picks anyway. The Pelicans, man, got a lot riding on Pierce. It's top, like it's a top 10 selection. Not to mention, along with Queen, they gave up that pick from next year that's unprotected for Queen. Joe Dumars set up that interview and said that he sees these guys as impact players. They were impact players in college, and that's the type of guys that he drafted that he wants on the team. So I really do think that it's a commitment. It's going to be Joe and Troy Weaver's. It's a commitment to getting Fears and Queen as much time as they could get in this season, man, because we can most certainly use both their skill sets to help facilitate the Pelicans to win it, because Fear's speed is ridiculous. His offensive game is excellent. And Queen, what he brings to the table is much needed. So yeah, they're going to be extra motivated in terms of where these guys they were selected at, not to mention the fact that the extra stuff that they gave up to get Queen, all this stuff parallels. So in the end, I think that there'll be pressure on Willie Green, which is great pressure. Like I said, for people that see the Willie Green, I know that's DC, you just saying that, but for the Willie Green thing, it's not I don't see it as a positive and negative. To me, it's something that has to be proven. Like we've reached a fork in the road in terms of, we know what it is, but this is something that Gail Benson's stubbornness and unknowing of what's going on and liking people as opposed to whether or not they do their jobs with one another. This kind of stuff. But this is one of these come to Jesus moments, or these truth moments where you see a person for who they are. And that's what the beauty about it is, that this team with Joe Dumars ahead and say, here you go, Willie, and then, give him all this talent, give him all these players, and say, okay, here you go, Willie, go out and win. And if he can't do that, then that will show him for who he is. If he can't, who knows? It's a small percentage that Willie Green gets. 1% chance, or a small percentage chance that he develops into a really, a respectable, good young coach. It's a 1% chance. I ain't gonna, I wouldn't bet on it, but there is still a small chance that can happen. Well, he'll get his chance this year and last year's his contract based on all his talent. So it's in the pressure of the faithful want to see a win. Joe Dumars, Weaver in their first year, they got to make it work. So that's what we are, and I just think that's a beautiful truth moment that we'll get to the bottom of all this stuff, and we'll get all this out the way.
Most definitely, man. And this is exciting because just looking at the lineups, that I mentioned, man, there's still several others you can throw out there. Like, we're not even mentioning, Sadiq Bey, man. I mean, he's not exactly chopped liver, Another 40% three-point shooter.
He's a double-digit scorer, bro.
Even if Herb isn't ready, like, Sadiq could actually be in the starting lineup. You can. It's so many things you can do, and they can actually have. Guess what, Q? Guess what they can have now again?
A versatile lineup.
A living roster.
Right. Exactly.
They can have a living roster, Q, because they have so many different lineups that they can run that can be matchup dependent. I think in a regular season, you kind of, just hammer it home and do what you want to do until you playing, like those major teams, then you get a little experimental with your lineup. But in the playoffs, man, that's when that becomes like a huge advantage, when you have that type of versatility in the playoffs, where you can just fine tune things and switch things as need be. Although we won't do shit like that with Willie Green. I'm just thinking in the future for an actual competent coach that will look at matchups and actually play people in certain positions to have them excel and have actual roles for players.
And actual team identity?
Yeah, those type of things.
Wow.
Joe Dumars
already. 40 shots tonight, DC, with and more than half of them bad shots.
And Joe Dumars and already took all that bullshit off the board, Q. They got one goal now. One goal. We ain't worried about all this joy and shit.
One goal. That's right.
One goal.
That's right. One goal.
We're trying to win. That's the goal. Give a shit about how
he
happy
got
it
a
is.
trophy up there. That one gold banner is a trophy. It's a championship trophy up there on that one. That's what I'm talking about.
Sure do.
That's what I'm talking about. That is so needed.
One goal, and that's what it's about, bro. So
it ain't passion, purpose, pride, DC?
No.
It's not passion, purpose, pride?
No.
It's not being a basketball family?
Nobody cares about that shit.
It's not the players hanging out and going to eat popcorn at the movies? It's not none of that?
No.
It's not about sustainable familyhood?
No.
Okay. I was just checking.
It's about one goal, and it's about winning. And all of those other things that you want, all this joy and happiness and love and pain and all this shit.
Yeah.
All that's going to come with winning.
After we winning. Right, exactly. This is tremendous.
If you all in a foxhole fighting for that one goal and y'all accomplish something, everybody's naturally going to bond behind the one goal. So he actually did Willie a favor, and he saved the Pelicans some print paper or whatever the hell they're using, because you don't need all that shit up there. If you got one goal, you're going to have all the other stuff. And then it's weird to be saying compassion and joy and shit. You got to go play your competitors. I won't be thinking about no goddamn compassion and joy before I'm going.
Well,
I'm going to battle. Like, what do you mean?
They can't tell me that David Griffin was putting Willie Green in the arm lock and telling him, "Hey, Willie, locking him in the arm lock and telling him to go put them banners up there." That wasn't.
I don't think he was, because Willie would always mention joy and shit like that. But I can't act like it.
Enforce, he wouldn't use aggressive, violent verbiage like Joe Dumars wants him to do. And he wants an aggressive.
I'm saying I can't act like David Griffin wasn't Mr. Octopus. He was pulling all type of levers, got his hands all over the place and shit, touching all type of shit that shouldn't be touched. I'm sure he was responsible for at least one of the words.
Well, let me ask you.
We know Joy was on Willie though.
Well, this is just thrown at me in messages and people messaging about how much of David Griffin was holding Willie Green back from winning versus Willie Green being not a winning coach. How much?
You want a percentage?
Yeah, a percentage. Make it clean. Y'all answered in the chat too. How much of it do you think David Griffin was in having Willie Green non-successful coaching ways versus just being Willie Green? Y'all let me know in the chat.
I'm gonna be honest, and Lex is not around, so I can say this. I'm gonna say 15%.
Lex is in the chat.
Oh shit! Lex about to come up here because I'm gonna say, what's that, Lex? I'm gonna say 15%, for the simple fact that as dumb as Willie's philosophy may have been, we disagree with it, I don't think it works. David Griffin never really fully gave him what he needed. And the one time when he kind of was close to getting what he needed, like, a guy like Dyson Daniels and stuff, for what he wanted to do, to the way he wanted to run his defense, and you want to be small ball, and he kind of got these guys, which we saw it in that 49 win season. The one time he did give him kind of what he wanted, he got 49 wins. Now in crunch time, he messed all of that up. They were winning off of talent, like Brandon Ingram was saying, but he never fully gave him everything. And even in that, we still didn't really kind of have a point guard for real. You know what I'm saying? So I give it 15%, man. Then you got to look at the injuries. We're constantly getting injured, and we never had the necessary pieces to come in after these injuries to keep things going. Now, last year was completely crazy because y'all know they were trying to lose last year. But, a lot of the other times when we had injuries, man, we could have had reserves that could have, held the ship and we would have done a lot better if we would have had the right pieces. Because our depth at times wasn't good enough, and really it was the center position and the point guard position. Those two areas that were never corrected damn near the whole David Griffin era. Lonzo Ball, you kind of had it right, and we were still looking for that unicorn center. You had something with Jonas, and you need a combination of a mobile big man that can, maybe switch out on the perimeter when they exploited him. And we can never get that together, man. So I say 15%.
Well, the family members made some great points about some of the things about Willie Green. That great points. David Griffin didn't make Willie Green hold his timeouts. David Griffin did not make Willie Green have lineups that he messed up. He put in defensive players when he needed offensive players, or vice versa. He wasn't the one that was making him be a bad manager of time and all this other kind of stuff. So it's true. You see, also he wasn't the one hamstringing him for not being able to practice in the arena where the team was played. We talked about that before.
That was horrible.
Some of this has to go to Willie Green, because even though you have a general manager person, if he's giving you enough talent, and I think he did give Willie Green enough talent to be to get the job done, so to speak. And a lot of times they mentioned the 20-something odd games the Pelicans lost due to the fact that they were up and then end up blowing these leads and losing the game because of poor management of the game, poor management of the roster, this type of stuff that Willie Green was supposed to improve on time. Willie Green still doesn't have a good gist or control of Borrego's offense. They still run a topsy-turvy personality clashing system.
Does Willie Green understand any offense?
I mean, he understands offense. What I'm saying is there is a obvious abrasion. It's a friction between not him and Borrego, but the systems. The systems are not meshing well. Like Willie Green is a defensive coach. He's supposed to be, but his defense is not that good. So I mean, he's not teaching his defensive principles correctly. The offensive game under Borrego is just not being taught properly because the Pelicans, and many times they're slow to the party in rotations. They don't sustain things well. Even when they're up, they lose. They lose focus in these games. That's Willie Green's job, is to make sure he's on top of it, to know when he starts seeing this player not in the game and moving these guys around, making sure they're head in the game. He's largely responsible for the preparation, not all of it, because the player has his responsibility. But Willie Green is the head coach. If the team fails or succeeds, large part falls on the head coach. So, and then on top of that, you got to add to the environment where coaches, DC, that are winners, like we talk about Coach Malone from Denver or Coach Taylor from Memphis. These guys are all-time winners in their franchises, and they got fired. That the Pelicans can't operate in the bubble, even though they do. You're looking at teams that have way more success than the Pelicans, firing established winning coaches that establish identities and respect among championship players on their team. These guys, Memphis, the guy was just awesome. So, I mean, you have guys like that getting fired, Thibodeau's and all these guys. That has to impact who your coach is. You got to look at him and say, well, damn, this goddamn guy right here is losing. He's got this stuff. We got Thibodeau, a guy who took his team to the Eastern Conference. We got a guy 2 years ago won a championship. We got a guy 3 years ago won a championship. All these guys got fired, but Willie Green keeps his job. So all that plays together. You cannot ignore that. The Pelicans can't pretend like they not, that they're on the island somewhere not seeing the rest of the NBA world plays out. So all that impacts the head coach as well. And he feels the heat when they lose. That's what I'm saying. So at some point, you got to look at that stuff, man.
Yeah, you do. But just making reference to it, we give Willie Green all the negatives that he's earned. But I don't think sometimes, every once in a while, you can point out that he didn't have, what he needed his whole tenure. Like I said, the 49 win season, he had more than enough. That was unacceptable. And that's why at that point, after that, I said, no, you got to fire him. Before that, I tried to, he'll learn. I was on board with you. He'll learn, he'll improve. And after the 49 win season, when I saw him play, I was like, man, get him out of there. It's over. But prior to that, a lot of things, he didn't have, everything he needed to do what he was trying to do. But nonetheless, get his ass out of here. DJ got a question. He said, I have a question for y'all about how many games do y'all see the Pelicans winning after the draft this year? That is an interesting question. So, family, feel free to put that number in the chat. I see my man Strider already kicked it off. 31 games, and I'm being generous unless they cheat.
I said 20 games, DC. I mean, because you don't want to have too many games. Like if Willie Green got a record like if 3 or 4 and 17 or something, 3 and 17 or 4 and 16, this type of stuff. I mean, you got to be looking at, okay, right now, Willie Green has to be the coach on the shortest leash in the NBA.
No. He asked how many games do we see the Pelicans winning next year? After, with the players we got in the draft.
Oh, my bad, DC. I am so sorry. I went straight to how many games before
you want Willie out of here, man. I get it.
No. If Willie can learn, that's a whole nother thing. But I'm for the interest of the team.
That ship and sail. That ship and sail.
Wait, did I say about the ship? Okay. I'm since the ship is gone, and you know about ships. Nah,
that ship and sail.
Okay, so listen.
Yeah,
I'm gonna do these things. Okay, I hear you. All right, my brother. I gave you a come up as DC. I said you come from, about the ships from Ireland. I got you, brother.
I heard you the first time. Yeah, have to repeat that bullshit.
No, I'm just giving you. I'm giving you flowers, brother.
I like flowers.
Ships from Ireland.
Put the flowers back in the ground. They're gonna die anyway. Leave them in the ground, man. What they supposed to be?
I give you vegetable curry then. You know what I'm saying? That's good on that.
I'm eating a chicken salad, man. I'm on a diet right now. I ain't eating it.
Oh, jerk chicken salad. Right,
no jerk chicken. Just regular baked chicken. No sauce.
Curry chicken salad. Okay,
the sauce got too much calories, bro. No sauce.
Okay. All right. I'll give you a plantain pudding.
That's too much sugar. You're trying to spike my insulin now. That's too much sugar.
All right. Okay. So, bottom line is, man.
Don't give me shit. Just tell me how many games. How about that?
All right, DC, I'm gonna throw it over to you, brother. How many games you think?
45. I think the Pelicans can win 45 games next year. The West will be competitive, so I'm not sure where that puts us. Hopefully, we're in that 5 to 6 range, but judging by the West, maybe we're in the top seed of the plan.
Okay, 45 games. That's what you said, 45?
Mm-hmm.
And that's what Willie Green is the head coach, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right.
Until November, he's going to get fired, and then we're going to go on the run.
Who's going to be the coach? Borrego?
Anybody. Pick somebody. They're going to do better than him.
Corey Brewer? Great coach, going to win 45 games.
I like him. Awesome. Corey Brewer, you got the job.
45 games. How many we won last year? 21?
Mm-hmm.
That's a 20-plus game increase there, DC. That's a lot of work in that tough Western Conference, bro. I don't know, man. I'm gonna have to say.
We left about 13 or 15 games on the table that we lost on purpose.
Well, I'm saying until I see something different from the head coach acumen in terms
we
of
could have won. We
what
could
he's
have won
going to do
30.
in
We
an
could have won
identity
30 games last year.
situation.
30 or 28 games last year.
I hear what you're saying, but I'm saying I'm gonna have to go 30 games. I'm gonna have to say 30 games because if Willie Green is still there, and depending on if he can get these guys to win and he picks up a proper offense, then that's a whole other thing. The head coach, a team can't win consistently in spite of its coach. If he's still there, I would have to say we won 21 games last year and helped it better with the Pelicans. I'm looking at like 30-something games with Willie Green over the team. I'm just going to be honest with you. That's the best I got because I think that's a big part of it. Outside of just the health standpoint, they really hadn't done anything about that. And Willie Green's still doing it. Does he have the answers to why he failed last year? Are they going to just blame it on him? That's the reason why.
Zion can't control Willie Green, Q. And Joe Dumars not about to let them be holding him out of games and all that bullshit. You play Zion, we win. It's simple. And he gonna play.
Okay.
Willie Green ain't even in control of that.
There you go. Okay, you changed my mind. I go to 35 games. So I went from 30 to 35. That's the best I got. All right, so that's my answer. There you go.
What's up, Lex? What's going on? Queen Lex in the building.
What up with you?
I'm good. Go ahead and tell them we ain't gonna win nothing. Go ahead, I got you.
What?
Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't sour Lexus. Lex, you see what he trying to do right there? Throw a little Jamaican curry down so you slip on it.
Yeah, Lex, don't
go for that.
You know how we get down, Lex. Don't fall into that.
I got something for you right here. It ain't working.
Yeah, see? There we go.
It ain't working.
Don't let him turn you against me, Lex, because I don't want to eat his curry.
Listen, man. Listen. When somebody gives you lemons, what you gonna do with them?
You gonna make lemonade unless you willing.
You gonna make rum punch.
Okay. Alright, so listen. Dude had lemons and he couldn't do
Hold on, Lex, if you give DC lemons, he gonna make rum punch. Go ahead, chance.
Oh Lord, Jesus. What I'm saying is, look, I don't care, like, as a coach, and I just so happen to be a coach, but as a coach, man, you have to have the ability to take whatever talent that you have and make some lemonade. That's a heck of a gift. And you know what? That's a characteristic of a really good coach. To be able to take whatever talent you have, you are going to maximize that talent and you are going to get those guys to play together. That's your job as a coach. I don't care who you have. All these guys are professionals. And we, even outside looking in with everybody in the chat watching these games, you knew exactly what needed to be done. But he wasn't getting it done. He wasn't getting it done. This man, look, I don't care. Look, both Griff and Green, they a package deal. They Tweedledee and Tweedledum. They two of the Stooges, okay? They should have been a package deal, but one thing I will say is that you can't put it on Griff, on him not helping. Man, it's not about that. This is personal. This is personal. This is about your ability to coach. And time again, he's basically showing that he doesn't have that ability. Making timely adjustments, understanding, situations. When something was working, don't you know, like, they went away from the stuff that was working? They did that many a times. Why would you go away from something that you finally found something that works, but instead of sticking with it, you went away from it?
Because he was too stupid to realize it was working.
You shot yourself in the foot. That has nothing to do with Griff. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't, many a times, like, I don't know what they discussed at halftime, but when they came out in third quarter, how many third quarters did this team lose? Like, they didn't come out ready. Why is it that you don't have your team ready? Why is it like the tale of two halves with the team within a game? Stuff like this that has nothing to do with Griff. Because it's like, wow, the first half was a really good half. But you know what? How many times did people in the chat and even this panel say, you know, we can't even get excited. We got to see what they're going to do in the second half. And Lord and behold, what happened? It was a totally different team. And sometimes it was flipped. Sometimes it was a horrible first half. And then the second half, they actually played better. But a lot of times that first half was like, it was atrocious. It was atrocious. We saw all this stuff. We cannot forget what we've seen as supporters of the Pelicans. Don't we don't need to convince ourselves, well, hey, what percentage? No, we saw what was going on. Willie Green cannot coach. And even with injuries, for those of you all who want to bring up the injuries, there were many a times where this team could have won despite the injuries. And he fumbled the bag. He fumbled it. Like, it's like, dude, why did you have this dude do this? Why did you not continue this? Again, things that were working. There were many situations in games where they didn't have the starters. There were games that they actually could have won. But again, in crunch time, anytime Willie Green is put in a position where he has to coach, the team is going to lose. And that's really bad. Because as a coach, outside looking in, when there's pressure, when it's crunch time, that's when you show your coaching ability. It's not during the blowouts. Your time as a coach, when it comes, is when the game is close. When the game is determined by 3 points, 5 points, less than 10 points. It's not when anybody can win a blowout. How much coaching do you have to do if you're blowing out a team? Somebody please tell me. How much coaching do you have to do if you're blowing out a team?
We're going to see, because that's the goal this year.
Okay, so the real coaching comes when it's close, the time is ticking. You're down 6 points. Okay, somebody on one of your Herb Jones has 5 fouls, but you need him on the star player. You need to get a stop. Are y'all getting my drift? When is it time to call that timeout? When is it time to, okay, hey, we there's 50 seconds left. We still got time. Are we gonna press? That's when your colors start to show as a coach. Okay? And when the pressure is on, okay, everybody's screaming, somebody else picked up a horrible foul. That shows your coaching ability. And that's where, as long as when you have situations like those, because you're not always going to blow a team out. When you have a situation where the game is close, whether your star player is in there or not, you have to make adjustments. That's what you have to do. Nobody said that this stuff was going to be easy. You're going to deal with, oh man, my best defender just fouled out the game. Oh my gosh, we need to play cat and mouse. We need to do the offense defense as far as, subbing in and subbing out somebody. goodness, this matchup is working, but golly, this matchup right here is killing us. What about all the times where Trey Murphy had it going on? And then in the second half, Trey Murphy didn't even touch the ball. Same thing with Zion. How many times does that happen? Stuff like that cannot happen. 5 minutes, Zion not touching the ball. Are you serious? This is the type of stuff that was happening. And it just didn't happen just last year. It happened for years. Like that's you need to call a timeout. Hey, look here. Y'all better get the ball. Why hasn't the ball gone to Zion? Look, nobody else on the court done scored. How many times do we see this? Nobody else on the court done scored. After they got down by so much, they finally got the ball to Zion. Zion put the ball up in the hole. We're icing our own players. You're icing your own team. That's why I said many a times, you're supporting, Willie Green was supporting the other team. He was helping them out. It's like, dog, they don't need your help. They don't need your help. But the way that your adjustments and the way that your coaching works, you are definitely supporting the opponent team. And it shouldn't be like that. It's like, what is this dude doing? That's just like in that Memphis game. I know y'all remember that Memphis game, man. It was a close game, right? Zion played great defense on Triple J. Now, Triple J ended up scoring, but I guess Willie felt like his defense was poor. Even Memphis's commentator said, man, that was great defense by Zion. Triple J just made the shot. Willie Green took Zion out the game immediately after that and put in Dyson Daniels. And the Memphis commentator's like, what? Why did you do that? Oh my gosh. They went straight back to Triple J and finished over Dyson Daniels like he wasn't even there. That was the dumbest move that you could have made. The dumbest move. You put a shorter player on Triple J, all because Zion did play great. He played solid defense, but this is the NBA. Sometimes when you have great defense, the offense still makes the shot. How many times have we seen that? And basically, look, you kept Dyson on him, and he scored twice on Dyson Daniels, man. And Dyson Daniels fouled him both times. When Zion was guarding him, he didn't foul him. He had just made the shot. And that pushed us even, that basically extended their gap, extended their lead, all because this dude felt like, oh, Zion is a defensive liability. That's what he was thinking. And it's like, you thought very wrong. You were thinking about past defensive assignments that Zion had missed and not thinking about, hey, man, defensively, Zion is having a solid game. You thought about his past games. You weren't thinking in the now. And in doing that, you hurt the team. That was a horrible move. And they were like, that was not the right move, but I don't know why you did that. But going back to Triple J, stuff like that is what you saw all the time. Those small details. And Willie Green, he came out, he said he made a mistake. But it's like, dude, you always make mistakes like that. It's like you're not truly learning the X's and O's. How many times have we said that? Big Q, you said many a times, hey, Willie Green's got to get it right. You said that for most of the year on last season or even before. You said he has to get it right. And I was like, man, no, we don't. He hasn't showed us anything. He hadn't showed us anything up to that point that he's grown and he's made changes. And you were being optimistic. And guess what? It was the same thing. Look, Dallas, you know what? Dallas,
Damn, I think that was right around this time last year, huh, Lex?
huh?
That's this around the anniversary of that shit. Huh? Wasn't that around that time last year?
Yeah.
No, I mean, DC, Lex
We
was
should
talking about.
have got a big Q of cake for that. I remember that.
I'm just saying,
We
look,
celebrate.
you know what? Dallas dealt with injuries too, right? They dealt with a lot of injuries. But you know what? They made it to the play-in. You know why? They have a really good coach. Even with the trade with Doncic, it was looking bad for him. Shoot, you just traded for a player. AD came back in his debut. He came back on his debut and got hurt that same day. You lost Kyrie, your point guard. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, but you know what? They still made it. You know why? Because, hey, you had somebody on that sideline who knows how to coach. And that's the difference. That's a huge difference. Now, they didn't get further than that, but you know what? For them to get as far as they did with all the injuries that they had their starters out for a good while. All they big men were out, right? Everybody remember that? But they still made it to the play. Man, hey, that's a testament to something. They didn't just fold. And you know what? They didn't fold. And guess what they were rewarded with? Who they get? What draft pick they get? I'm just saying. They did not fold. They weren't the worst in the league. They kept fighting. And they ended up with the number 1 pick. They were a playing team, and they ended up with the number 1 pick. And it's not even guaranteed. And I said this months ago. It's not guaranteed just because you're trying to lose. Ain't that what you said, DC? Lex, we trying to lose. But just because you're trying to lose does not guarantee that you are going to get a top 3 pick.
But you was only trying to lose because you lost a lot of games prior to you trying to lose.
It was already a loss season.
We need to get DC a 1 punch cake for that.
Dallas was never dialed into losing. They still were trying to win. They were still trying to win, and they got the number 1 draft pick. Pelicans were trying to lose, and you got the number 7 pick.
Well, Lex, that's a famous Lex rant right there. I agree with 1,000% of all of it. I just think the NBA lottery, the situation that occurred when they sent Doncic to LA, that was a rigged thing. They ultimately that was a corrupt rigged situation.
In 2019,
but outside of that,
in 2019, the Knicks, they had the worst record, right? But they didn't get the number 1 pick. You know who got that? The Pelicans did. The Pelicans did.
That's when the Pelicans were sold to. That was when the Pelicans bought the team from the NBA. The next year, they were rewarded with the overall first-round draft pick. So I mean, we've got. We know this. The lottery that they run is not looked over by the commission to make sure it's done correctly. They do that based on what they want to do. And just be honest with you, however it ended up, this whole situation with the lottery this year definitely works against the Pelicans. Even though we talk about what's going on inside of our building, the Southwest Division it's just even more powerful. I mean, you get the Dallas Mavericks get a Cooper flag with AD, and then eventually they get Kyrie back. They still got a slow ass Klay Thompson. We eventually gonna learn how to shoot again. They got Lively. They got your boy Daniel Gilbert. They still got these guys in Houston.
Yeah, Gafford just got signed a 3-year contract.
Got his contract right. So you got the Mavericks are going to be a player. The Rockets were already on the rocket ship, if you pardon the French. And of course, look at the San Antonio Spurs. The Spurs were the second team in the lottery. I mean, in the draft.
And they deep in they guard play. They got shoot. They still got Stephon Castle. I think they may let Chris Paul go.
And they got Harper to go along with all them other guys.
Yeah. And you
Look
still
at
have
that.
De'Aaron Fox. I mean,
He's saying this just inside of, they're talking about the Western Conference. I'm talking about we'd be battle tested if we make it out of the Southwest. I mean, this is going to be a very interesting season. But but this, like I said, regardless of not, yeah, I gave Willie Green 4 years to see if he can get, pull it together and see what he got. You got to give somebody a chance. But in the end, we'll see what they got, man. These aggressive moves mean this is not going to stop in the offseason.
yeah, these aggressive moves mean
Pressure on to win right away.
if you don't have a coach that knows how to put these guys in position to play together and be maximized.
Well,
like
that's what the aggressive moves don't do, Lex. Aggressive moves aggressively keep aggression. It's aggression there. It's going to aggressively remove said coach that you're talking about if he can't.
they need to move him a long time ago. I'm tired of looking at that dude's face.
Yeah, I get you, but I don't want to be redundant about it. But the thing is, at the end of the day, we do realize you're 1,000% right on what you're saying. You hit on that. The guy, we agree. I think most of the flockers agree that Willie Green shouldn't be here anymore. He lost his team, all this kind of stuff. Even if the guy that brought him in wanted to fire him. So I mean, in the end, only reason he survived was an act of mercy from Gail Benson because she liked the guy. So I mean, but like I said, that's not going to be enough to save him this upcoming season. So let the truth come out, man, and let the truth stand firm. Because, like I said, man, it's going to be a real short leash on Willie Green. They ain't going to let bad coaches stop him from winning. Joe Dumars is going to be on his back. So I mean, this is going to be interesting, man, to say the very least. But I'm going to give y'all the last words before we close out. Lex, you and then DC, then we're going to close out.
Well, one thing I just want to say, look, it's one thing to have a talented team, but in this league, high IQ still matters, and you can't just win with just talent. It has to be something else. What? What in the world? What you doing over there? What, DC, was that you?
That was definitely DC because my sound way better than that. DC got an 80s boombox playing in the background.
Is he trying to play the dude in the dreadlocks on the tambourine and the
I think that was a week or two bad. I shot the sheriff. That's what I thought it was.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Y'all need to get my tambourine. I'm gonna go get my tambourine then. You know what I'm saying?
That's what we're gonna say when Willie Green get fired. My bad. Go ahead.
I'm joining you, man.
Oh, you got the tambourine?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, I'm gonna run it back. Go ahead for you.
I gotta get it first.
Rolling down the river. Rolling down the
You all right?
Oh, goodness.
You all right, Big Q?
I'm good, brother. I'm good.
Okay. I thought you fell asleep on the button for a second. Check it.
Oh, man.
Facts.
Oh, my gosh. Y'all hilarious. Let me know so I can have my tambourine ready because but anyway, yeah, it's got to be more than talent, man. You can't just rely on talent. All these NBA teams got talent. All of them do. So, it is concerning. Like, it's a nice draft class. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, Dumars said that they're not finished yet. Probably not finished. I mean, because there's a lot of it is guard heavy and things, but hey man, like this dude ain't it. This team is only gonna go so far until you remove that guy. You know, it's sad that this routine with Gail has been consistent. It's deja vu. You can't just give your new a VP and executive whatever title Dumars is, stragglers from the last VP. You can't do that stuff. That's old. You've done that. You've been that's been a trend of hers that she's been doing. Talking about people are nice people. Really, it ain't about him being nice. It's about the fact that, this woman is cheap. Willie is cheap. He accepted all the scraps and she's not invested into winning. Now, clearly right now, I think Joe is trying to, get that instilled as far as the winning, the culture, the foundation. He's really trying to do that, being aggressive, being proactive, and all those things that, Griff wasn't. But that helps to have just like a clean slate. But right now, we're still dealing with a straggler, residue of Griff. And I'm gonna keep saying it, man. Griff and Green, they were a package deal. They a package deal, man. They both need to go. Griff was a huge factor, but you still got a problem with this dude. If we want this team to really go as far as we like them to go and really see what this team can do, that dude's got to go. And really, he needs to be gone like months ago. He really does.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well, we got some news, family. Appreciate the shout out in the chat. Don Guillory, pretty reliable source. He said we signed Hunter Dickerson to a two-way spot. Hunter Dickerson, got him pulled up here. This is a center from Kansas. Averaged 17 points, 10 rebounds on the season, 2 assists. So we get our big guy, man. Let me see if I can find a draft comparison. I didn't? I thought I did. Okay, let me see. Pull him back up here. He's 7'2", 265. So we got us another big prospect. It's what we needed. I'm gonna see if I can find a draft profile on him.
They signed him to
two-way
Summer League team.
Huh?
They signed him to the Summer League team.
More than likely, but I mean he signed to a two-way spot.
Yeah, there's a lot of people, boy. Well, somebody's gonna be going. We know that for sure.
Yeah, that's definitely that's what it is. But we got to welcome Hunter Dickerson. Though glad to have him because we need an additional center, man. We need another 7-footer. You've been in the same division with Wemby and AD and all of those guys, man. That it ain't gonna cut it just having 3 bigs. And we still need to sign a veteran big, even though we got him. So they still need one more center, in my opinion. You can't have we got 4 young centers like that. That ain't gonna work either. So we need a vet in there somewhere. Hopefully a starting quality vet, at least in case of emergency type guy, at very minimal. But we do have, I think, around 18 to 14, $12 million in cap space, maybe after some of these other contracts from when we last looked at Sports Track. And that will put us on par to be able to get, I think, a quality guy. We obviously don't need any more wings. Like we got enough wings and guards, so we definitely can use another center.
All right, DC, thank you for that, bro. What's your last thoughts, bro?
Well, I'm trying to find a profile on our center here. He don't look like he on my board nowhere. Wish they had a search bar for this. I don't know. If that makes
Sorry,
any bad.
scouting report on him.
Yeah, I was looking for a scouting report on him, but the stuff why I had scouting report, he ain't in here. What my man Don, what you thought about him, Don? Don said he's solid. Okay. Let me just go to some highlights of him, and then I'll give my last assessments of the night, and we go and get up out of here, man. But what y'all think about that, man? The Pelicans getting a big 7-foot center to sign to a 2-way contract out of Kansas. You know, come from good pedigree in Kansas. A lot of big men came out there.
I mean, all I can say is that BM Squadron team gonna be on fire.
Oh yeah, well, these highlights too long. Hunter look like he been around for a little while. Huh? Can I find some recent highlights? Let's see.
I wonder why. Well, I don't know. I mean, because he's a 4-year or 5-year out of Kansas.
Yeah, I'm just trying to find some. I see a few games where he has some points. I'm trying to find a mix of stuff. See, we got this little 2-minute highlight package. This should work. Check out Hunter, man. Let's see what he got. Get a little back to the basket. Hook shot. He got a little mid-range shot. Okay. Don't look super athletic. Kind of look a little slow-footed, but quick enough.
He can set a screen.
I don't know if he could jump. He definitely could set a screen. You like them little hook shots, huh? Man, y'all got to guard him right there.
Well, if he's popping them from right there, shoot, you know, they're going to have to pick their poison.
He got some potential to space the floor, so I see the vision.
Yeah, he took that three pretty good.
Yeah, he got a nice little shot, man. I mean, it's this nice fluid, and, you know, mechanics don't look horrible. He moved like a 7-footer, though. Oh, yeah, this ain't bad for a 2-way guy, man. He's a lot better than a lot of guys we done had. Man,
Yeah,
that's like
they said
as a
They said
7-footer.
the Pelicans did a pre-draft workout on this player.
Okay.
Yeah, they participated in the pre-draft workout with the Pelicans. They said scouts have raised concerns about his defensive mobility, tendency to turn the ball over under pressure, overall athleticism compared to NBA level players. Strengths is Dickerson's known for strong post scoring, rebounding, and passing skills. Some analysts suggest it could be a valuable backup center for a team needing size and scoring in the paint. He's 23 years old, so they question.
Okay, we got some age. That's good. But that's what we need, man. We don't need no super young center. We got enough of those. You need a little maturity. You know what I'm saying? Sabonis. That's what you see, Lex.
Yeah,
his Sabonis in his game.
The way that he moves.
Barbados.
Sabonis.
Yeah, that's his Sabonis.
Is the son of the father?
Wow. I mean, he's playing right now.
The father,
like he has a stiffness on how he moves. It's not like
He looked like he had back surgery before.
saying it's a good or bad thing. I'm just saying that his movements are similar to Sabonis. I mean, he moves like a European cat. You know what I'm saying?
That's
He,
why I said
he looked
man,
solid
it's a,
though.
Yeah, I mean that's not a bad thing. I'm just saying, like he, you know, I mean you can even say Valanciunas. I mean, just the way that they turn, they're pivoting, setting the screens. You know, just the way they're going up. I mean, there's just a I don't know how to
Yo,
describe it.
them old school big man moves. He don't look like no modern big. You know, he don't have a lot of athleticism. So I see what you're saying. But the father Sabonis, bro, he remind me of Dan Aykroyd. Remember of Coneheads? That's what I be thinking about every time I look at him.
nah, DC, don't sleep on the Vedas. The Vedas Sabonis was a beast, boy.
Nah, he was cold. I just said what he looked like. I ain't talking about his game. I mean, he was the best passing big man of his time, man. He kind of changed the game a little bit.
All right, DC. Well, let's okay.
All right, enough of him.
Get rid of this chain. You kind of switch out of that video.
Y'all tired of slow feet, man. Look at him on the road. He was trying.
Well, go ahead, break it down, DC. You ready?
Nah, you got that, man. We'll see him in the summer league. We're gonna have enough time. You know, in the next 2 weeks or so, summer league will be coming up, man. We'll get to see what these picks will do. Can you turn my theme music down a little bit? Since he's singing and shit, it's interfering with me. But anyway, yeah, listen, bro. I tell you, turn the shit down. But anyway, I was saying, Hunter, man. I think it's a nice acquisition for a two-way player. But the rest of our roster, obviously, Lex did a very good job, as usual, of breaking down all the deficiencies of Willie Green and why we have a major issue there. I totally agree with her. But you know me, I got to be a little bit on the optimistic side. And we are full of talent. What? Come on, man. I ain't do all this shit to you using leaning on the button. But we full of talent, man. I think a lot of what we did in the draft, I couldn't have imagined it would go this way. I'm not super excited that we gave up a first round pick, but if we hit on Derek Queen, I assure you, I and the rest of y'all won't care either. If he, you know, is maybe a all-star guy in the future or anything close to that, but we still got some work to do, man. Now we have what Q referred to as a good problem to have. We got too many players. Just not enough minutes, not enough basketballs for everybody. So we got to fine tune this and figure out our rotations and who's going to be on this team, man, because there's no way that they're going to keep all of these guys. And I think, we're going to have to. I think Joe might help with that a little bit, Lex. We're going to have a second unit.
Joe needs to come down and coach.
Well, somebody got to be in the front office, though. He can't do both. But he could do the Pat Riley thing where he come down, pat him on the head, you know, tell him what to do, and, you know, and go back upstairs. But we're going to have a second unit that's going to be possibly full of 2 to 3 starter quality players, man. So this is a team that's going to be built on depth. I see the vision with the two-way potential that they're going for, and just gotta, I guess, see it all come together, man. Hopefully it can be what Joe envisions it being, but I cannot lie. I love the talent, but I am extremely curious, and just it's almost mysterious to me how it's all gonna fit. We got so many guards, so many guys that play the same position, and they all seem to have some level of talent. So is this a changing of the guards for some players that we used to? You know, guys like Jordan Hawkins that we root for. Will he be getting shipped out? You know, you got Micah Peavy coming in here, and man, they had I saw something up on him, like his last 11 games, the dude's averaging like 25 points a game, shooting 50% from 3-point line, all of this crazy stuff. Is he somebody that could jump out to you and steal a spot from somebody you thought would be there? You know, there's so many different things that can still happen. The Pels just went and got another big man. We were wondering if they were going to do that with that 40th pick, but they still need a vet big man. Do they go and get somebody maybe a lot better than we anticipate? And you have something else there? Looking at all of this coming to fold, and I'm still unsure, but very curious about the Pels' plans for the future. I have no idea who's going to still be on this team in the next 2 years. And I think that can add to the excitement of it. And on top of that, when they're having training camp, summer leagues, practices, and everything, I'm looking forward to seeing a team that has a lot more intensity. And everybody's going to be competing because they're going to have to. Because it's looking like, other than, a few players like Zion and Trey, who else can say that their minutes are like guaranteed? Everybody going to have to earn everything.
Oh, shoot.
Like that. And it would be a lot better, obviously, under a better coach, because I know you go, Alex. But with that,
Hey, you don't understand the situation. We know Herb is gonna be playing. He's guaranteed minutes. You know why?
we don't know how many minutes though.
Playing defense. We know Willie puts Herb over Trey. We know that. Ain't nothing changed.
How you gonna put? You can't put her over Trey after last year.
You know what?
All right, this go ahead an hour to the show. I'm gonna leave it alone.
I'm gonna let him prove it to you. All right?
They're not gonna let him, cause you gotta follow the money. Like Trey is making more money than her. They won't let him.
Defiant, so they can get rid of him. Be defiant. Don't try
if Jordan Poole is balling and it's a choice between Jordan Poole and Herb,
go with your gut. Go with what you really want to do. Shoot,
following the money.
Stubborn, huh? Don't we say that about Willie? He was stubborn, right? Yeah. You're gonna be stubborn. Get your stubborn on, dog. Get your stubborn on. And then we can say, get out, get out, get out of here.
From Wingstop to guard clock. Okay. I see the vision. Shit, we're gonna be sinners on us too.
Oh, dang. Stacy just breaking news.
This ain't no breaking news.
Being announced at the Knicks.
Stacy, what you mean close? He gonna be the coach or not, bro? We don't need all these mysteries.
And
it don't matter. We can have Corey Brewer coach the team when Willie get fired. It don't matter.
You mean to tell me that I was about to say something?
Okay, JB gone.
Chose Willie and you let Borrego go?
Yep. And not only did they didn't even go get Tom Thibodeau or Mike Malone or none of these other guys out there. I think Tom Thibodeau would be another coach that would be good for Zion. I guarantee you, under Tom Thibodeau, Zion they'll play 70 games.
Players to the ground.
That's what Zion needs, Les.
No, you don't want them ran into the ground. That's not good either.
That's what Stan Van Gundy did, and he was extremely healthy under him.
What? No, Stan Van Gundy just had practices. That's all he did. He made them dudes practice.
Zion he played a lot of minutes under Stan Van Gundy. So.
Well, hey.
That's why we discovered Point Zion.
Man, Tibbs is in his own tier when he plays his players. I mean, look at what Michael said. Michael went to him and was like, hey, man, you think you want to play the bench? You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? They can play too. You know what I'm saying? So the starters ain't playing. Like he was putting Michael, man. He was putting his Iron Man self. He was challenging that. He was challenging that all the way. That's not how you gonna do it though, man. Because by the time playoffs comes, you don't got a whole lot left in the tank. And it showed.
Live every day like it's your last, Lex.
What did you say?
Live every day like it's your last.
Goodness gracious. Mike Malone with Queen and Time. Yeah, that would be nice. That would be nice.
And then Mike Malone was cooking.
Crying out loud. You know what I'm saying? Just somebody a coach that has an IQ and has some type of vision. That'd be nice to you know.
We need a coach that's tough though, you know, like Joe Dumars was saying in the press conference.
Yeah. Well, I guess it would be Mike then, but you know, Gail can't afford him for some reason because she won't open her purse wide enough. Yeah, thank you, Neo. Thank you. No coach in history runs their players in the ground like Tibbs. Thank you. He's in a tier by himself. That's crazy. You don't
running in your players into the ground, you know, get you the second round of playoffs. I guess I'm willing to deal with it for a little while.
I mean, but that's as far as you gonna go. Like, do you want to go further, or do you just, you know what I'm saying? Like, you want to be smart, like, and these cats, they ain't even practicing like that. I mean, we know what happened with the Chicago Bulls. Look at what happened to them. Did they make it to the finals ever? With D Rose and what is his name? What was that dude's name?
It was one ACL tailway.
You are so funny. But that wasn't even against Miami. Golly, what is that dude's name? Jimmy Butler. You know what I'm saying? And Taj Gibson and Joakim Noah. You know what I'm saying? They couldn't make it. They never made it. I mean, so yeah, with Tibbs, yeah, he can get you far, but you ain't going to the finals. That's guaranteed. You know what I'm saying? We almost made it though. Well, almost ain't making it though. You know what I'm saying? Oh man. All right, man. Where Big Q go, man? He got
All right, give your last statements of the night, Big Q. Go ahead and take us on over.
All right. Shout out to the fam.
You had enough of that rum punch?
No, that's for you, DC. You got the rum punch, brother. All right. Big ups to the fam. Appreciate y'all for being in the stream tonight, man. Y'all do us a service, man. If you enjoy PPR, please feel free to give us a like. Give us a hit on the like button. If you're not a sub up. Join PPR, man. We always have these great discussions covering the team that we love so much, our Pelicans, man, as they attempt to turn around the misfortunes of the past and right the ship, man. That's what we want. Shout out to Easy Money 01 all the way in Australia. Love you guys. So much love, pals. Thank you, bro. Appreciate you. Way out
money, man.
Crikey.
Wow.
So,
crikey. That's a pretty Sheila.
Very much.
All right. So big ups to the rest of y'all, man. Appreciate y'all being here tonight. Do us a service and share the show as well, man. PPR in the building, man. We'll be back. As we know, if DC alluded to it earlier, you know, we got coming up the Summer League. That's on the horizon. A lot of stuff's going down, man. It's just the beginning. The Pels road to redemption, fam. The road to redemption. So with that being said, we're going to get out on that. I appreciate you guys. We're going to holler at you on the next one. Much love. Go Pels.
You're listening to the Pelicans postgame report on the PRO Media Network for all things Pelicans.
Perfect. Fly Pelican, fly Pelican, fly Pelican. And I tell them that. Fly down, my Pelicans forever. Pelican forever. Ain't gon' lie, I feel flyer than I ever been. We stay ballin', this New Orleans, I'm a Pelican. It's going down in the nest, wild, wild west. Come in town and you best, show us some respect. 3-point threat. I better make it rain. If it's something, don't jump stupid like your ankle sprain. Always said, never hate the player, hate the game. Jumper where the dame late, punch a train. Swish, post game, big Q, talking about business. Bird gang, YouTube, they ain't flocking with us. Lock up the division mission, get into the finals. Finish competition, then it's going win the title. I know this flyer than you can get. Such a threat that the refs just might call a tag. You could double, you could press, but you can't check. Right, left, slide by you like a Eurostep. Fly Pelican, fly Pelican, fly Pelican. And I tell them that birds of a feather flock together. Fly down, I'm a pelican forever. Pelican forever. And never, and never, and never, and never, and never, and never. Say birds of a feather flock together. Yeah, fly down, I'm a pelican forever. Pelican forever.
TheWhoThatDaily.com. That's right, TheWhoThatDaily.com. Your one-stop shop for everything New Orleans Saints, New Orleans Pelicans, LSU Tigers, even the top flight boxing. So if you're a Who Dat and you're looking for a place to stay up on your team, TheWhoThatDaily.com is your site. TheWhoThatDaily.com for the sport Who Dat in all of us. That's right, the Pro Shop is the platform store where you can go and buy all the latest merch to support the platform. Available at the Pro Shops, we have dozens of hundreds of products available for you and your family. Unisex tees for men and women, hoodies and sweatshirts, tank tops, kids and baby items, long sleeve tees, mugs, pillows, wall art, bath bedding, face masks, phone cases, stickers, bags, fanny packs, socks, hats, and many other items. Please feel free to check out the Pro Shops. The link is in the description section below. And remember, it helps the platform continue to grow. Check out the Pro Shop and Who Dat too.
Hey, Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile. I first ditched big wireless and started using Mint Mobile way back in 2019. Back then, you could get premium wireless for only $15 a month. Today, Mint Mobile's premium wireless has gone up by... Okay, wow, that's it, zero. It's gone up $0 a month since 2019. That doesn't seem fiscally responsible to me, but again, you're welcome. And I'm not an accountant. Hate math, always hated math. True story, I was in math 10A when I was in 12th grade.
Being amazing is uncomplicated with Tiege Hanley's simplified skincare system. Here's how it works. Go to Tiege.com, pick your system, and get handsome. 3 simple steps. Wash, scrub, and moisturize. It's that simple.
Guys, go to Tiege.com and get started today.
To be a therapist, in my opinion, is one of the most humbling things ever.
A platform like BetterHelp is very important because it allows access to affordable mental health care.